Good morning, afternoon, and evening, wherever you are, and welcome to NerdTube. And happy summer solstice to you all. Happy summer solstice to you, Christine, the longest day of the year.
Well, happy summer solstice to you as well.
Yep. If you go online, there's loads of people, all these hippies and pagans and God knows what, all around Stonehenge, uh,
Yeah,
and dancing I'm taking a piss here, but probably eating vegan sandwiches and God knows what, and yeah, having the time of their lives, and more power to them. If that's the sort of thing that they enjoy, it's harmless. Sorry, and if that's what they enjoy and all the summer solstice stuff, then fair enough. It's starting to bug me already though, because knowing that from now onwards until the end of the year and the beginning of until December, the days are going to get a lot shorter.
I
But
know. I can't believe it. It's already June.
yeah, exactly. So happy summer solstice to you all. Now, uh, today's show is going to be basically Zam's TikTok treasures. But before we go on to that, I'm going to talk about somebody who made the news today, and I'm just finding out more about it. So I've got some news articles, but it's our friend Kyle Rittenhouse. You know Kyle Rittenhouse?
I got something for him. I made it today.
Oh, lovely. A man who has become notorious and famous for killing people. He's a right wing darling because he murdered a couple of people. And if you're a right winger or a conservative, that's all it really takes. You
Yep.
know, to
He stuck
you know,
it to the liberals.
I remember I forgot the name of the guy who George Zimmerman. Like he was another guy. He killed some young kid who was just walking back from the store with like Skittles
Yep.
and an iced tea or something like that. But he
Yep.
was
Some
black,
14-year
so
old kid walking down the street.
Trayvon
He,
Martin.
he didn't
eh,
belong there.
yeah, and yeah, and these people are like have issues, mental issues, a lot of them. And but initially
Well,
they are the
let's stop blaming the mentally ill. I think some of these people are just assholes.
oh
Like,
I know that I know that too.
yeah.
Obviously, it goes without saying. But I consider myself to be an asshole at times. I wouldn't go around, but I think you have to also have the mental issues as well. You have to couple these things, but to go as far as a lot of these people do, and yeah, but what it amazes me is that murderers tend to be celebrities if you're a right winger, and it's especially if you're apparently murdering black people or liberals or lefties, then you're really popular with that fucking lot. Absolute fucking crazy people. Now, I'm going to
Oh, just before you
yeah.
go on, the reason I was saying the mental illness part is, yes, there is a lot of times that mental illness can be a factor, but there's some other times, and a great example were just normal Germans during the Second World War that were just hit with all this propaganda and
No.
convinced. And I see Fox News and other channels and QAnon as this brainwashing tool that I think could have affected this man and others to do these. Not well. Look at June 6th and all those people that Trump tried to overthrow the government with. It was horrible because not because they're necessary. Some were mentally ill, but just fed this bullshit and led to believe it's the truth.
I agree. Well, and you know what? I've always said that those people, they prefer lies to reality. They love living in an alternative reality. They love believing in bullshit and conspiracy theories because reality is boring. But if you believe in bullshit, like maybe Michelle Obama's a man, and I can see the bulge, even though there's no fucking bulge, then you're gonna believe that shit. You want to believe the fucking frogs turn people in the water turn people gay and shit like that. How about it? That's the sort of fucking shit you want to believe. You want to believe the fucking earth is flat. Go for it. Let's not listen to our scientists and astronauts and whatever.
Well, it's easier, right? They don't have to think; they're just told what what to do and think. They don't have to have
Exactly.
independent learning or thought process.
So I have a whole bunch of news articles here to read from. So I'm going to just start with the first one. Newsweek. I don't know if they're biased or not in any capacity. Will they give me the whole article? Let's just make sure I can. The whole article to. No, they won't. I think they won't. Oh, maybe they will. Okay, let's give it a read. All right. Carl Rittenhouse sister Faith is seeking $3,000 on a crowdfunding website in a bid to prevent the eviction of herself and her mother Wendy from their home, citing their brother's unwillingness to provide or contribute to our family. Yes, actually, I apologize. Let me give a synopsis of what's happening here. Carl Rittenhouse's sister and mother have been evicted from their homes, and they need $3,000. Now, we were talking about this particular incident in our group chat, and in my mind, I looked at it. My mindset was coming from a different direction. My mindset was thinking, Jesus Christ, when it comes to your immediate family, mum, dad, brother, sister, son, daughter, you got to try and help these people. They are your immediate family, but everyone else was looking at it from a different perspective. Like and it kind of made me see it from that different perspective as well. But at the same time, the fact that Carl Rittenhouse has no desire to help his mum or his sister kind of shows you what sort of person he is, because since he's become a celebrity for being a murderer, he has made a bit of money.
And not as much money as he could, because he's even crap at being a right-wing grifter. He's not as good as others. I mean, he could have soaked this, but he didn't.
Just woke up, Boofy, shortly. Thank you very much. And well, congratulations. This is what I'd like to see. Hope you stay on your throne as you watch it. So I'm going to read it. I got something to show you as well regarding a message sent by the Rittenhouse family. But let me read this article out first. Carl Rittenhouse sister Faith is seeking $3,000 on a crowdfunding website in a bid to prevent eviction of herself and her mother Wendy from their home, citing her brother's unwillingness to provide or contribute to our family. Now, I heard from some people that he doesn't really have to. It's not his position to do so. But once again, like, the person I am is like, you got to try and help your immediate family. But regardless, he doesn't have to. But on August the 25th, 2020, Rittenhouse shot 3 men, 2 of them fatally during an unrest in Kenosha, Wisconsin. We followed a Black Lives Matter demonstration in the city. Rittenhouse, then age 17, claimed he was in the city to help protect local businesses from looters and vandals. In November 2021, a jury in Kenosha found Rittenhouse not guilty of two counts of homicide. One attempted homicide and 2 reckless endangerment, after his legal team insisted he only opened fire in self-defense. By the way, I've never seen such a fucking kangaroo court like I did when it came to Rittenhouse's trial. It was yeah. Did you see that, by the way?
Yeah. First of all, he crossed state lines with weapons. If you were afraid and you thought you were going to get hurt, why would you go there? Why are you bringing a gun? I can't prove it. This is all speculation. He wanted to get into it that day.
Well, this is the problem when you have a country which is so enamored with guns that they are not trying to use it for self-defense. They want to use it for self-offense. Rittenhouse has since developed into a regular commentator on conservative and social media, and is outreach director at Texas Gun Rights. Probably just a face, if anything. A group formed to defend the Second Amendment without compromise. Fave's fundraiser was posted on GoFundMe on May 30th. It's accompanied by a photograph of her being treated at a medical facility. In accompanying message, Faith claimed she and her mother had struggled to maintain employment following Kenosha shooting, saying they were now being threatened with eviction. She wrote, just under 4 years ago, our lives were shattered when my brother was involved in a tragic shooting incident. The aftermath of this event uprooted our family's stability and left us grappling with grief, trauma, and the harsh reality of starting over. We know that we're not the only family struggling to rebuild after that fateful night.
Like the victims' families.
Yeah,
Oh,
I mean,
you struggled. Oh no.
in the wake of the tragedy, my family, among many other families, has faced countless challenges. We had difficulty obtaining and maintaining employment due to the fact people still believe my mother drove car or was somehow involved in the decision to go to Kenosha. We struggled emotionally, mentally, and financially to piece our lives back together. Faith went on to say she and her mother had been left to navigate this journey on our own due to my brother's unwillingness to provide support or contribute to our family. Faith later said that she had been unable to work for 4 months as a result of frequent hospitalizations due to medical issues, adding, "We've fallen behind on rent, and now we're facing eviction with only 8 days left in our apartment. The thought of losing our home, our sanctuary in the midst of chaos is overwhelming and terrifying." She added that money raised would be spent covering rent, paying for utilities, or even helping us find temporary housing. As of 3 a.m. ET on Friday, the fundraiser has received $1,920 of the requested $3,000 from 37 separate donations. It's unclear whether the money raised or any of the income sources will prevent Wendy and Faith from being evicted. Newsweek contacted Faith Rittenhouse for comment via GoFundMe messaging service outside of the regular business hours on Friday. Carl was also contacted by Instagram and X direct messages and Texas Gun Rights Online inquiry form. Over the past couple of months, Rittenhouse has been sharply criticized for calling President Joe Biden gay in a post on X, and for telling a group of Native Americans who shared a photographs of themselves raising their middle fingers at the Mount Rushmore National Memorial to leave the country. I mean, it's ridiculous. He's telling Native Americans to fucking leave the country. This fucking Rittenhouse. You know, there's no
Well, let's
coming
follow
back for
that
him.
logic, Rittenhouse. And if we're gonna do that, you first, because you got here last.
I'm so sad for them. My ass is crying. Yeah.
You want to say stuff, and then I'll say some stuff about it.
Well, you want me to let me pull up this thing I got here.
Okay.
Thank you for Ginger Greek for providing this to us. This is some information, and it's the application window. Here we go.
Your bird matches your shirt.
Well, yeah, he's camouflaging in it. Oh, yeah, you little rascal. So oh yeah, so I kind of read some. I read some of this already. Just under 4 years ago, our lives were shattered when my brother was involved in a tragic shooting incident. The aftermath of this event uprooted our family stability and left us grappling with grief, trauma, the harsh reality of starting over. We know that we are not the only family struggling to rebuild after that fateful night. Yeah, in the wake of this tragedy, my family, among other families, have faced count. Yeah, I've read all of this.
Yeah, that's what they wrote on their GoFundMe. That was quoted in the article you just read. But yeah, you're just repeating yourself. You're correct. Yeah, but that's exactly what's on their GoFundMe.
It is crazy because, for a start, Carl might have had a minor falling out with his family or major falling out, but you don't want your family to, like, this doesn't look good for you, Carl. Help and someone like him, as big of a dickhead as he is, if he needs some money, he can start a GoFundMe, and these right-wing nut jobs will happily donate to him. Now, maybe too many of them are donated to Donald Trump after his 34 felonies, because the guy made, I don't know how much money he fucking made after he got convicted, which was ridiculous. People donating to a self-proclaimed billionaire. I'll never understand that, but they did. But Rittenhouse isn't a billionaire. Yeah, I'm sure he's made a bit of money for being a murderer, but he's definitely not a billionaire. And he could easily start a GoFundMe. He could make $3,000, within a few hours, in my opinion.
He could get a job.
Yeah, no, yeah, of course. But I'm just saying, if he started the GoFundMe, then he could easily help out his family. And this is just I can't help but be this my line of thinking. I know with a lot of you guys, it's like fuck them, all of these sort of things. But my line of thinking, oh yeah, 200 million. Fair enough. I knew it was a lot of money, but it was such a long time ago now that it'll leave my memory. But like I said before, with Rittenhouse, he needs money for his parents to, or his mum and his sister to have a roof over their fucking heads, and just a little thing from him would help. But he's too lazy to do that.
And doesn't he follow the party of family values? Don't they think that women should be supported by their males?
Well, family values is funny when you're like famous, powerful, notorious, whatever. Then somehow you can bend the rules and break the rules and have locker room talk and maybe fuck around.
I'm calling them out. I'm calling them out on it because they go deep on the rights, most, not all, into this whole we are family values through and through. I mean, most of us realize they've got mistresses and, you know, are online seeing transgenders, but they hide it, and they hide it behind this whole we're family values party. So if you want to claim that, you better play that. You know what I mean?
Well, what they want to do, obviously, they want to ban no-fault divorce for a start. Being the land of the free. I mean, that's their idea of family values. Banning fucking contraception as well, but I'm going on a tangent here regarding all of that. But their idea of family values is always shitting on gays and trans people. When it comes to actual families, you know, a lot of them don't really give a fuck. Like Carl Rittenhouse doesn't give a fuck. You know, I mean, he owes his mum a lot. If it wasn't for his mum driving him up there to be a mass murderer, he wouldn't be in the position that he is at this moment in time. And
you made a really good point before you go on, and I don't forget it. You made a very good point there. They're disguising the whole bigotry behind the family values title, because you're right. It's not about the family. It's about hating gays and stuff. Yeah, you're right. I missed that before. Good point.
Yeah, it's always been about that. Yeah, a lot of these guys have fucking mistresses and stuff like that. I mean, I'm going to jump onto another person in a second, and that is Matt Gaetz.
Because, I'm not done with Rittenhouse though.
No. Me neither. I'm just saying I will. I'm going to. Okay. But anything else you want to say about him?
Rittenhouse, yeah.
Yeah.
The family, the sister and the mother, and I'm not saying that minimum wage is a good wage. It's not. It's unfair and should be raised, obviously. But I know she said she was in the hospital for the last 4 months. Therefore, she would actually be bankrupt because the United States 4 months would mean it wouldn't matter if you got $3,000 or not. You can't live anywhere. You're done. But it's been 4 years since this happened. Did you not work for those 4 years? And her thing is, we can't get a job because of our last name. Well, you're not the only Rittenhouses in the United States. And I am sure McDonald's will hire both you and your daughter. You'll not get a lot of money, but if you're both working 40 hours, you will have enough money for rent. Will you live the way you want to? I don't think you will, but you'll have a roof over your head. And this whole, my son won't provide for me, shouldn't be a shock because you raised him like that. So why should I be sorry for you for raising such a shithead? That's all.
Yeah, I agree. So I've got something else I want to talk about as well. You reminded me. I'm just keeping it ready.
Yeah, no worries.
But let's jump on to Butthead of Beavis and Butthead, and that is Matt Gaetz. Now, before I start talking about this, I'm not sure if you know that Matt Gaetz, he's been he's under investigation for sex trafficking.
Is he the Florida?
He's Florida, yeah.
Yeah, I knew that.
And obviously, partly the conservative.
Minors. Yeah. He also transported a minor over state borders for the purpose of sex.
Well, this is the thing.
Sorry.
This is the thing, because he 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 had sex with this girl who's 17, yeah, and that's legal, okay. And even though he shouldn't be doing it, it's legal because I think he was married or whatever. So he's having an affair with a 17-year-old girl. But then he paid for this girl to cross state lines by plane, and he paid for it using Apple Pay, so the information's all there. Like the guy's got receipts, literal receipts, yeah. And so he's paying for this girl to cross state lines so he can have sex with her, and yet she's also a minor, yeah, regardless of her being legal. So now it becomes child sex trafficking because he's paying for her to fucking go across the country to fuck her
Yep.
in other states, and now it becomes child sex trafficking, even though she's legal. And this is what Matt Gaetz is being indicted for, and under
Finally.
investigation for.
Finally.
Yeah, it's crazy how laws work. But look, personally, there's some things that he might have done that I don't give a shit about. For instance, he might have like gone to a party where he's done some illegal drugs, and he might have had sex with sex workers who are not under the age and all of that shit, and that's all consensual and shit like that. I don't give a fuck about, because I would be a hypocrite if I did. You know,
And
I think
I wouldn't be a hypocrite, but I don't give a fuck, except for the drug part. Yeah, I don't give a fuck.
yeah, because honestly, like in my opinion, I don't think there's anything wrong in sex work. You know, if people, and so I don't want people. I don't think people should ever be indicted for that. If you go to a party and you do some drugs or whatever, well, that's what people do at parties at times. You know, I don't think you should be indicted for that.
Yeah,
But
as long as you're in the sex trade because it's your choice and you're not underage, it's just a profession. It's the oldest profession.
But now, if he has had sex with people without their consent, and obviously he's been charged for child sex trafficking, but in my opinion, I think 17-year-old girls are very vulnerable, and they are called girls, they're not women. It's amazing how in some articles they refer to, when it comes to defending somebody who's done a terrible thing, who's on your side of the political spectrum, they'll use the term women or man when they are actually a girl or a boy. So yeah. Matt Gaetz for you, but let me read this article. It's with the.
While you're reading it, I'll be right back. Oh, I'm listening.
It's with ABC News. Numerous women interviewed in Representative Matt Gaetz' DOJ sex trafficking investigation sources. Washington in recent weeks, House Ethics Committee investigators have conducted a string of interviews behind closed doors with numerous women who were witnesses in the year-long Justice Department sex trafficking investigation into Matt Gaetz. Multiple sources familiar with the committee work tells ABC News. Are you back? No? Okay. I'll read it. I'll continue reading it anyway. Investigators have interviewed at least half a dozen women who allegedly attended parties where the Florida congressman, who also present and who were paid by Joel Greenberg, Gaetz' one-time close friend. Greenberg was sentenced in 2022 to 11 years in federal prison for pleading guilty to multiple charges, including sex trafficking a minor and introducing the minor to other adult men. Sources tell ABC. I mean, this has got like fucking Epstein written all over it. So yeah. Let me continue reading. So that already kind of, I remember all of this, by the way. This guy Greenberg and stuff he's associated with Matt Gaetz. Anyway, regardless, get rid of this shit. In the interviews, which have previously not been reported, some witnesses have been shown Venmo payments they allegedly received from Gaetz and asked if those payments were for sexual activities. Sources said some of the witnesses have been subpoenaed by the committee, while others have agreed to cooperate, according to the sources. One woman, who ABC News is not identifying, told the committee that a payment from Gaetz was for sex, while others have said that they were paid to attend parties that Gaetz also attended, and that featured drug, sex. Multiple sources told ABC News. Gaetz has long denied all the allegations, including paying for sex, and previously dismissed them by claiming someone is trying to recategorize my generosity to ex-girlfriends as something more untoward. Oh, please, please,
Ex-girlfriends?
as
If
something
she's
more untoward.
17, though, sorry, if she's 17 and she's an ex, how long ago was she an ex? Was she 16?
Well, I'm not sure about this particular person that they're going on about being this. I mean, that could be a whole different kettle of fish. It's really hard to say when it comes to all this legal mumbo jumbo. But the Justice Department informed Gates in 2023 that it was declining to bring charges against him after its year-long investigation. The House Ethics Committee, which don't have any ethics, by the way, declined to comment. Florida Attorney Joel Leopard of the Leopard Law confirmed that his client was cooperating with the committee, but they declined to comment further. Excuse me. The committee subpoenaed the Justice Department earlier this year for records related to its probe into the Florida congressman. Still, the department has resisted turning over the information, sources said. However, the committee has obtained Gates' Venmo records after issuing the company a subpoena, sources tell ABC News. During the DOJ investigation into Gates' public reporting, including by the Daily Beast, largely focused on Venmo records from Greenberg, who, according to his plea agreement, used his account to pay for commercial sex acts with women he also introduced to others. The committee obtaining Gates' records when ABC News has not seen could help provide congressional investigators with a roadmap for payments the congressman may have made while he was friends with Greenberg. I just want to add that shit like this is not necessarily breaking news of politicians banging sex workers, whether it be Matt Gaetz or any fucking buddy. But in my opinion, I think Gates is being targeted because of him ousting Kevin McCarthy. Because Kevin McCarthy was a stalwart, and one thing with Republicans, they don't necessarily want to do a lot of infighting, but with this new breed of Republicans like your Lauren Boeberts and your Marjorie Taylor Greens and stuff like that, who are just there to shit stir instead of getting anything done. Infighting is all that's been happening now, and they've got rid of Kevin McCarthy. They want to get rid of fucking that other guy, Mike Johnson. And I think they tried to throw. I think like old school Republicans are trying to throw Matt Gaetz under the bus, even though he doesn't need to be thrown under the bus. He's already under the bus by highlighting this shit because they want to punish him. That's just my opinion.
I think that happens. I don't think in this case because it happened too long ago. It's just being addressed now, but this is older.
Well, yeah, but it's legal matters, and legal matters that are not done on a whim. They take time. You got to gather information and stuff like that. And like when Kevin McCarthy wanted to be Speaker of the House, they had to do like so many votes, and he kept withholding his vote. And then when he got Speaker of the House, within months of being Speaker, they ousted him, and he was one of those people who led that particular charge. Now, I don't think he has the same sort of like following as someone like Marjorie Taylor Greene has, and Marjorie Taylor Greene, I believe, is a governor. Is that correct? Or a congresswoman?
Congress, I think.
It's hard to say, but I just feel that Marjorie Taylor Greene has more. I don't want to say stability, but she has more power, more something.
More followers.
Yeah, than Matt Gaetz does. I think Matt Gaetz is looked upon as expendable. He's somebody who I think within party lines they can't trust him, So they're more than likely willing to get rid of him and oust him because he's not really one of them. He's a shit stirrer. He just wants to get recognition.
The Republican Party is kind of doing what happened during the French Revolution, and they should be very careful because first the rebels went after like the bourgeoisie and the royals, but then they started infighting and chopping their own heads off. So a little foreshadowing, I think.
That always happens. It was even with the atheist YouTube community. We would go after all the religious nuts, and then we started going after each other over the most minor fucking indifferences. I mean, once again, look at how we are with Shredder. Over fucking Rick B, he stops talking to us.
Well, how he was over us. We were actually very like,
Yeah.
come on, let's talk about this. Of course, we don't support Rick B's worldviews. We only support freedom of expression, and we want to challenge his thoughts.
Exactly, but so unfortunately, sometimes when it comes to being on the left, people will call you out on a minor disagreement, and that's why we can never get shit fucking done. But we all have to be fucking. If we're not all 100%, which we'll never be, then all of a sudden, we're terrible. And that's
if you're not virtue signaling enough, you're not left enough.
Yeah, exactly. So, and that's my issue. So, anyways, I'll never join the fucking right for anything. There's nothing that could ever make me go that direction. But I do call out the issues that we have with our own side. Let's read some comments here. Manson family values. The GOP is the party of you can't rape your own wife. Yeah, I know. Or your own daughter, if that was the case. Louisiana has become the first state to require that the Ten Commandments be displayed in every public. Yeah, I saw that. So much for separation of church and state. I mean, would they have the fucking if there was the Ten Commandments of the fucking in the Quran, would they have that fucking displayed all over? Of course not.
Or the Church of Satan or whatever.
I forgot what state it was. It might have been Florida or somewhere else, but they use the same religion laws, regarding sex and stuff that is not should be shown to kids to ban the Bible because there's so much explicit stuff in the Bible. So
there was a big push for banning books in schools and libraries, and they were taking a lot of books off the shelves, and there were a lot of criteria. A lot of it had to do with sex, less for violence, which is sad because I'd rather have books about love and sex than books with a lot of violence for children. But they were more concerned about the sex. And one guy, I think it was a guy, it might have been a woman even, that went, ding, ding, ding. Wait a second. The Bible's got this shit in it too.
Yeah.
So let's see if they'll play by their own rules or just throw them out and say you can have the books back.
Well, no, but they won't do. They'll somehow still keep to the rules, but somehow make an exception for the Bible. That's how it is.
Yeah,
it's like freedom of speech. Like you want to be a fucking Nazi saluting fucking KKK member. All the power to you, mate. We'll even give you a police escort. You fucking leftist, fucking going up against Zionism and being pro-Palestine. They'll fucking beat the shit out of you with a baton.
And make it illegal for you to even speak it.
Yep. So second oldest apple picker is the first profession. Is it? Okay.
No.
It's Adam and Eve.
Yeah.
Okay, fair enough.
I talked about sex working is the first profession. Very funny.
So us eat cake. Let us eat cake. Yep. Apparently, she never said that, But anyway,
actually, it's misinterpreted because a lot of people, including myself, thought, "Oh, if they're starving," she was like so detached from reality. She thought, "Okay, if they're out of bread, why don't they just eat their cake?" That's what it's meant to mean. She was just that delusional and that rich. She just thought everyone had everything. So if you run out of bread, why don't you eat cake? So it wasn't like, oh, let them eat cake. I'll give them cake. They're starving. That's the big mistake.
Yeah. Yeah, I understand. Daniel Vaughn says, I support Rigby right to have his views. I may not agree with them all. Democracy, yeah. Exactly. Yeah, so anyway, I'm going to just quickly finish off with this article. I'm not sure if this is the best article regarding him and the
Hide,
underage
Sam.
girl.
Hide.
Yeah, I'm sorry. My windows are open and I live on a busy road. Let me read this one here. This is the most recent one from MSNBC News. Facing intensifying ethics probe, Gates seeks fundraising boost. Matt Gates raised a few eyebrows earlier this week when he issued a statement claiming that the House Ethics Committee is opening new investigations targeting him. The Florida Republican did not elaborate as to what, because that would be embarrassing if he did, exactly these probes would entail, though the congressman insisted he'd done nothing wrong. I remember actually he was let me see if I can find that clip. Matt Gaetz and Tucker Carlson. It kind of shows you what sort of person Matt Gaetz is.
And Tucker.
More Matt Gaetz though.
Yeah.
This is when
because didn't Tucker Carlson get fired for harassment in the workplace?
No, not him.
Another Fox presenter. And I don't say newscaster for a reason. I say presenter.
Yeah. All of these. Okay, let's see if we can do this one. Yeah, let's just try this one. This is nice and short. Sorry, I'm just getting it ready.
Yeah, take your time. It's last minute, folks. Just a quick added special bit, so bear with us, please. And earlier when I said about the sex workers and drugs, and I said I don't judge, that doesn't mean I condone the use of drugs, guys. Not hard drugs, anyway.
Sorry, Rick B. I do apologize. I just had to leave that article and go onto this regarding Matt Gaetz, just to give you a better indication of what sort of person he is. I'm hoping this is the he got interviewed twice by Tucker Carlson, but I'm hoping this is the interview that kind of exposes what sort of person he is, because the first interview he had with Tucker Carlson did that. Let's have a look.
If you just saw our Matt Gaetz interview, that was one of the weirdest interviews I've ever conducted. Tell us what the truth is from your perspective.
It is a horrible allegation, and it is a lie. The New York Times is running a story that I have traveled with a 17-year-old woman, and that is verified.
17-year-old woman. Yeah, they do this all the time.
He said traveled with, so he can say that that's a lie because she didn't. She came, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, she's a minor, regardless of you being able to bang her. She's a minor.
Verifiably false. People can look at my travel records and see that that is not the case.
See what he did there? Didn't travel.
Get out the volume a bit.
What is happening is an extortion of me and my family involving a former Department of Justice official. On March 16th, my father got a text message demanding a meeting wherein a person demanded $25 million in exchange for making horrible sex trafficking allegations against me go away.
I just want to say that Matt Gaetz is absolutely minted with money.
Yeah.
Being involved in Congress and stuff like that, he's doing this for the fame, not for the money.
Also, listen to the words he chooses. Pause it for a second. If you were to say he wanted $25 million for these accusations to go away, that means there's accusations. What he should have said was he wanted $25 million so he would not make those accusations. See the difference between make them go away or just making them up? Like, even his words betray him.
Yeah, exactly.
The travel thing, like, that's sneaky. I didn't travel. Check my travel records. No one said you did. She did.
Let's continue. Oh, by the way, this guy has been, I mentioned him earlier in an earlier article. This is Joel Greenberg. He was arrested on charges including child sex trafficking in 2020. Oh, this is it. Please show this.
I'm not the only person on screen right now who's been falsely accused of a terrible sex act. You were accused of something that you did not do. And so you know what this feels like. You know the pain it can bring to your family. And you know how it just puts people on defense when you're accused of something so salacious and awful, but it did not happen.
You just referred to a mentally ill viewer who accused me of a sex crime 20 years ago. And of course, it was not true. I never met the person.
I can say that actually you and I went to dinner about 2 years ago. Your wife was there, and I brought a friend of mine. You'll remember her. And she was actually threatened by the FBI, told that if she wouldn't cop to the fact that somehow I was involved in some pay-for-play scheme, that she could face trouble.
I don't remember the woman you're speaking of or the context at all.
2 years ago. Of course you remember.
I just need to pause it there just so people get the context of what's going on. It's like Matt Gaetz is trying to drag Tucker Carlson in this. Yeah, because that's the sort of person Matt Gaetz is. And then he actually had the girl he was sex trafficking with, the young girl, and had dinner with Tucker Carlson and his wife. But obviously Tucker Carlson was nothing to do with this, which is why he says he doesn't fucking remember that particular moment. So he's dragging Tucker Carlson in regarding an incident that he was accused of some sort of misconduct, which apparently was not the case. It was some crazy fan. And he's also bringing Tucker Carlson in, rather saying that, look, you saw the girl I was with, we had dinner together, and Tucker Carlson said, you know what, I don't remember. I don't remember.
That's not what he said. He said, you remember another woman I was with who was threatening.
Yeah,
He wouldn't testify that I was in on these sort of things. But but he is trying to drag him in, you're right. And it's like, you remember 2 years ago. Fuck no, buddy. I don't remember 2 years ago one dinner with you. Who do you think you are?
That was quality, by the way, but
I know that there was a demand for money in exchange for a commitment that he could make this investigation go away along with his co-conspirators. They even claimed to have specific connections inside the Biden White House. Now, I don't know if that's true. They were promising that Joe Biden would pardon me. Obviously, I don't need a pardon.
Whoa, stop it. Okay. I don't believe Biden was even in back then. And why on earth would anyone even offer you a pardon to plead to something like this? That is just nonsensical.
This passed over from the end of the Trump administration into Biden's administration, like this whole, but the investigation's been going on for a while.
Right.
I mean, this video clip is 3 years old, so this was probably the beginning of Biden's administration. But at one point, I think he was looking for Donald Trump to give him a pardon. But with Trump out of the picture now, I think he was kind of cocky about it as well, because obviously, Trump and him, birds of a feather. Yeah. But
and he's trying to go, oh look, it's the Dems' fault, like throwing Biden's, because he knows the Fox viewers don't like Biden, so he's red herring.
And so now Biden's in charge. Obviously, the idea of Biden giving him a pardon is very unlikely, but you never know, because the Democrats, they fucking love to bend over backwards for Republicans.
Why would anyone even suggest that, if you cop to this, we'll get Biden to give you a pardon? That's just no one would say those things to anyone about something like this.
Especially if you consider yourself to be innocent. From the DOJ sex trafficking investigation, Gaetz says there are tapes that will prove his extortion.
So they're saying there is a 17-year-old girl who you had a relationship with. Is that true? And who are they? Who is this girl? What are they talking about? New York Times?
The person doesn't exist. I have not had a relationship with a 17-year-old. That is totally false. I really saw this as a deeply troubling challenge for my family on March 16th, when people were, talking about a minor, and that there were pictures of me with child prostitutes. That's
Whoa.
obviously false. There will be no such pictures because no such thing happened.
The case of some member of Congress to vote against an anti-human trafficking law in 2017. Surprise, surprise. Saying he defended the vote. He didn't want to create more federal government and that the EPA should be abolished.
You just saw Matt Gaetz.
Sorry,
Okay.
what is the environmental
Whether you're for
protection got
small
to do with sex
government,
trafficking?
if you
Yeah.
want small government or not, no one in their right mind doesn't vote for a government to make a law that is against human trafficking, either minors or adults. That is total crap what he just said there.
Yeah, exactly. So let's sign this off.
That was one of the weirdest interviews I've ever conducted. I don't think that clarified much.
Yeah.
I love it though. He backed himself into a corner. That he said, you won't see any pictures. There won't be any proof that I know a 17-year-old. That makes it really easy, because even if one piece of evidence shows up, whether it's incontrovertible, even if it's not a tape of him having sex, rape actually, because it's 17-year-old, he's already said, no, I have nothing to do with anyone 17. So if something now shows up, a photo, a tape conversation on the phone, the flight records, which have already been shown to be true, and all this stuff through his PayPal or how he paid her. So, yeah, you lied. You're already caught. You're caught.
Yep, exactly. And but will he face any repercussions? I don't know. So that's the thing. I think there's some comments here. Wellness check, Ginger Greek, making sure he's probably remember Ginger Greek is on the MMH. So if he's not watching us right now, he's either masturbating, or hibernating. Daniel Vaughn, did you see Trump saying he declassified Kennedy's assassination, 9/11, but wavered on it when it came to Epstein documents? Yes, and that will be shown today on my TikTok treasures. But so were the Clintons, the Bush, and many, many more. Yeah. Like I say, when you're a powerful person, I mean, just look at Donald Trump right now. I mean, Matt Gaetz is not even president of the United States, but he's a very powerful person. And you look at someone like Donald Trump. I mean, will he face a fucking jail cell? I doubt it. I seriously doubt it. And it kind of goes to show that the lawmakers don't necessarily have to follow the law, especially if you're a fucking ex-president or president.
I have a question. So is he threatening to release all these things so he doesn't go to jail? Is that what's happening?
Release what? Sorry.
Is he threatening to release like the 9/11 Clinton papers or whatever?
No. He's trying to be transparent by saying, 9/11 stuff, because these things don't come back to him. Yeah. But you mentioned the Epstein stuff. The Epstein stuff. I know, look, Chris, trust me, I'll show it to you later. We'll get to it, honestly. All right. Okay. Now, before we get on to TikTok treasures, I've got one more thing to sort of talk about, and that is Star Wars Acolyte. Now, I know you're not watching this show, and I don't think it's that great personally. I really don't. But I will never be part of that contingent of people. Yeah. Hello, boss man. How you doing, mate?
I'll be all right. Sorry about that.
No problem.
Sorry. What was he? Sorry.
No problem. We're just starting on talking about the Star Wars Acolyte now. You seen episode 4?
Yes.
All right, cool. Now, I don't want to talk about the episodes too much. I just want to talk about this sort of backlash.
The quality.
Well, look, I think the show is not that great. I think this has definitely put a spotlight on Disney regarding what they're doing when it comes to producing shows, because they are shit. Now, I've said before that I have no problem with a female black protagonist. That's not, or antagonist. That's not an issue for me. Unfortunately, these people have been put in roles in films and shows that really are really shit. You want to have lesbian characters in your show, no problem, but it's got to be written well. And unfortunately, it's not. It's been written so fucking poorly. And because of all of this, the fuel has been given to red pillars, incels, fandom menace, you name it. They've got that fuel they need to basically say how woke everything is and how shit it is because it's woke. But I've always said that if something is considered shit because it's woke, then surely if you replace all the characters with straight white dudes, it's not going to improve matters. It's still going to be shit.
Yeah.
It's the writing. It's always been the writing that's bad. The directing as well, the performances. These all are part of it. You can get good actors, good writers, a decent director, and make a palatable show where they have characters who are gay and they're multicultural and all of these sort of things. And those shows do currently exist at this moment in time. As I said before, The Boys is a prime example of a show that is woke as fuck, and it is very, very good. You have The House of the Dragon as woke. You have X-Men 97 that's woke. There are other shows out there that is woke, and they are good. Yeah, so there's some. I mean, there's a few actually, but some of them escape my mind right now. But those three are the ones that's sticking. Star Trek. Star Trek has always been woke. Way back. And it's very, very popular, and people watch that shit. So it's always been the writing. Now, because people have an issue with Star Wars Acolyte, they're doing things like review bombing, yeah. And I'm going to show you something now because unfortunately people are so stupid, they end up review bombing the wrong shit. This is the Acolytes, not Star Wars Acolyte. This is Acolytes. It came out in 2008. Let me just zoom this in.
It's a film about what's the word, cults, like a cult. I think it's Australian cult. I think three teens: Sebastian Gregory, Hannah Managa Lawrence, and Joshua Payne blackmail a serial killer, Joel Edgerton, to help him get rid of a violent bully, Michael Dorman. Okay, so that's basically what it is. Basically, they pay for a serial killer to kill their bully. Now look, it's got 8 reviews, 75%, but for some reason it's got 500 plus ratings at 33%. You would think that people will try to put two and two together. They see this picture and they maybe see 2008 mystery and thriller. All right, but let's have a look at this. Let's see if we can read some of these ratings. See, look, these are ratings of the actual show.
That sounds good, by the way. It sounds.
It does sound. I
think I've seen it. It is pretty good.
Sorry, I'm just saying. Look, these ones are 2018. They're reviews from the past, which is to do with that, and all look really favorable. I'm trying to find
the star rating is.
You can search by star rating. I'm sure you can.
There you go.
All critics. No, this is 2009.
But go by the star rating, like Gary said.
How do I do that?
Go to all audiences.
Yeah.
I think if you click the stars, does it not give you some sort of drop down?
Where's stars?
The actual stars there.
Right there. Yeah.
Click that. Does nothing come up?
No, nothing.
I thought, shit, that's a bit crappy.
But yeah, you could see 4 or 5 stars, except for that 1, 3, or 2 star there.
Yeah.
This is the most recent.
Yeah. So
yeah. Top critics. No, okay. But basically, people are like, this has been. You look at all the reviews prior to the recent. I mean, even the 2024 review is a genuine review. Look, so I'm sure this one is not trying to review bomb it. But look, there's a lot of decent reviews here. There's lots of 3 to 4.5 stars, maybe some 5. Look, there's a couple of shitty ones here, but not everyone's going to like it. But most of the reviews seem to be above average.
Those shitty ones might be the ones you're talking about.
No, the date's wrong. Like, this is 2013. You can see the date here.
Yeah,
That's
so-
what I'm
so-
saying. You
No,
know,
no,
I
no.
mean,
Because if you scroll up, if you scroll up, yeah, that was from 20th of January 2024.
yeah, but I this is a genuine review. This is a genuine review, in my opinion.
But
Because,
you've seen them, right? That's what you're saying.
Well, this yeah, I mean, like, but the point is like, like this film has been reviewed on because people have mistook Acolytes for Star Wars Acolyte because it's got decent reviews, but for some reason it's got a 33% audience score on Rotten Tomatoes. It's like it's been reviewed on by the wrong people, you know.
I want to watch it.
I'm just trying to find a way of. All you have to do is just go up to it and click the bottom star, and you're done.
Yeah. You don't have to write a review of it.
Yeah, exactly. So they review bombing it because they thought that this was Star Wars Acolytes.
Yes.
Or Acolyte, sorry, and this is the Acolytes. This is a totally different fucking movie.
Yep.
And so
Well, one's a movie, one's a series.
One's a movie, one's a series. You know, one. You know, like this one stars. This Joel Edgerton is in Star Wars. He plays Luke Skywalker's uncle. But regardless, he's not in Star Wars when it comes to this particular film. And
aren't most of the leads women? So why would they look at his face?
One's a woman.
Oh, okay.
Anyway, let's get out of this.
Anyway, so I did watch episode 4, right? He was better than episode 3.
Yeah,
but saying that though, like, I mean, like, there's still moments of it that were really boring, like them just going through a bloody forest. But
I fell asleep. I fell asleep, boss man. I dozed. I was like, shit. I was like fucking dozing off. You know, if Daniel Vance was watching me, watching my live reaction of that, he would have had a field day. You know, I was like, well, wake up, like all that sort of shit. You know, I was falling asleep watching that bollocks. That's why I had to watch it twice.
But the thing is that like you can make a good story and have it with gay people, stuff like that. Like, for example, not to go into it, but Doctor Who. I don't want to spoil it too much because we do have a podcast on Sunday, not promoting it or anything like that.
Promote it,
we do have a podcast. Yeah, well, we have a podcast on Sunday where we review Doctor Who, and the last episode of Doctor Who was really good, and the Doctor Who's been played by a gay black man.
Yeah,
and he is, and the thing is that the show's just really good. I mean, like, there's been some episodes that some people haven't liked, which is fair enough, but this last one I thought was really good. So, and you can have gay people in it, lesbians in it, flaming women in it, whoever, as long as it's well written. And the thing is that, but if you boil everything down to it's woke, then, you know, like, you just look stupid if something's woke and it's good. You just look like an idiot. And I don't know. I mean, like, it's like, for me, it's about representation, because it's like, sure, like, because everyone wants to see themselves represented in a positive manner, right? Right, I'll talk about this from a religious standpoint, right? I get sick of seeing the same fundamentalist flaming Christian crackpot displayed over and over again. It's like, we're not all like that. We're normal people. You're portrayed as a not. It's like how, I mean, the atheist character in flaming films, if you want to go the other way, is usually like the same super flaming academic, has a little bit of a flaming with the top, acts like a complete arsehole to everybody. And like, no, it's just normal people. Christians are just normal people. Muslims are just normal people. It's a bloody it's nubbheads of all groups who give everybody else a bloody bad name. Is that woke?
Yeah.
If you actually had representation of just normal people, God's sake, you know what I mean?
I think you're right. I think you are underrepresented, as the large majority can be very average, normal people. And unfortunately for movies, they want the extreme. But going back to the whole putting in woke material, if it works and it's a part of the story, or
Mhm.
it's just not the only character's characteristic, it's fine. Like, people shouldn't just be in a movie because they're there to be the transgender. They're there to be the guy who runs the motorcycle shop and fixes bikes for the bike gang who happens to be transgender. That makes more
Yeah.
sense. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Exactly.
No,
And people were
I know
complaining about that fat Jedi.
Yeah, like for example, like I know that people criticize the WB for a lot, but one thing they got absolutely spot on was their gay and lesbian representation, because they had loads of gay characters, and it wasn't just their character; it was just part of who they were as people. Like for example, the chief of police was a gay man. We only did this when he talks about his wedding to another man. We never learned it any other part of the show. He just brings it up, just because he just wants it to be. It's just part of who I am. Like another character is a lesbian. Like in Supergirl, when the character finds out she's a lesbian, that's not her entire character. She's this badass flaming, secret operative woman, but she's also a lesbian. And the thing is that that's representative. The whole point of representation is that gay people don't go around going, "I'm gay, I'm trans, I'm this, I'm that." That's not. They just want to live their. They just live their lives normally. It just is a part of who they are.
They exist, and we have to act like they look. Chris, we watched The Fall of the House of Usher. That
Yeah.
show's woke as fuck. You know what I mean? That show's woke as fuck.
But you don't
right?
notice it.
You don't notice it, and like even at the very end when that lawyer, the black lawyer, he mentions how he's going to go back to his husband. Like until then, I had no idea that he was gay until he said that line, and that was really pretty much at the very end of the show. And then obviously the woke elements of God, my bird just spat at me, man. Yeah, but
just like anyone would say at the end of a workday, "I'm going home to see my wife or husband." It wasn't like, "I'm going home because I'm gay. I'm going to see my gay husband." It was just.
And yet you had characters like who were very like various races and sexual orientations and stuff like that, but those things were so irrelevant to the overall plot. And that's what made that show so fun to watch. And it is woke as fuck, and it was written really, really well. It can be done. I wish people would stop fucking complaining, but the fact that but we've tangented so much because the whole point was about the review bombing. Because people have got such an agenda now. Yeah, look, I will admit the show is shit. I really will admit that. I'm not enjoying it as much as I want to.
What? Really the House of Usher?
No. Star Wars Acolyte. Yeah. I really, and it upsets me because as I said earlier, it gives fuel to the anti-woke Red Pill Brigade to make the excuses that it's black lesbians and witches and women and not enough white people. That it gives them that excuse because it is so bad. It is bad. We have to admit that it's bad, regardless of.
But I don't see the whole lesbian element. I think that's just something that the internet has come up with because they're idiots. Because
that's what they do, though, Bossman. That's the whole point, though, mate. That's the whole point. Like they can. I got people saying in articles I read on Facebook with people complaining about this and they go, look, I want to watch Star Wars. I don't want to see lesbian space witches. And I go to them, I don't mind seeing lesbian space witches as long as they are written right, and they're directed right. The performances are good, but unfortunately with this show, with lesbian space witches, it's shit, and I will be the first to admit it, but I will never go with the contingent of people who will say go woke, go broke, because that has already been proven that that's not necessarily the case. You can be woke as fuck and come out with good stuff. That's all.
It's like I said earlier. Sorry, Gary. It's not that they're in there. It's that it's a shit written. It's a shit plot. It would have been fine if they were there, as long as it was a good show to begin with. Sorry, guys. Go ahead, Gary.
No, sorry. It's just that it's just, as I said, like the third episode was where I started to lose the will to live, like because like the bit where like they're literally like the two sisters are like holding hands and they're saying how close they are, and they're the same spirit but they're in two different bodies and stuff like that, and then it flips literally 20 minutes later to
yeah. Let's see if we can get away with a quick look of this. I'm hoping we can get away with this. Okay, if we don't, I will restart.
Well,
we have to. I want Chris to see this.
pause
All
it
right.
and then start it. Pause, start, pause, start. I can do that.
I don't want to ruin the flow. Wait, you little rascal, get out of there. All right. All right. This is one of the scenes that was so cringe. You know, like this, even though this is Disney and it is Star Wars, this felt more like Disney than it did feel like Star Wars. And this is why, in my opinion, Disney were one of the worst people to acquire the Star Wars franchise, but they just can't get out of this fucking bubble of family friendliness. All right, here we go. Are you watching this? Oh yeah, okay.
Power of one, the power of two, the power of many. The power of one, two, the power of many.
Pause it.
Yeah, you're like,
Okay,
that's bad, isn't it? That's bad, huh?
Star Wars is about awesome fight scenes. The laser, I forget what they're called. Fights, lightsaber fight scenes, even just fight scenes and martial arts scenes, and spaceships fighting like jet fighters would. And what the fuck is that?
Yeah, a little bit more.
The power of many.
I never saw that at the end. Okay, but
it wasn't even acted well.
Sorry, guys.
It wasn't even acted well. The power of many.
It's just so bad. Like you could like, it's just like, oh, what were they thinking when they did all of this? Like,
no, I mean it could have worked because like there's nothing wrong with showing like with showing like religious like practices around the Force. There's nothing wrong with that. It's just the way they did it with the flaming reverb and stuff like that, and the power of one, the power of many. What in the actual fuck does that mean? Like, because they don't even call it the Force. They call it the flaming thread, for God's sake.
Yeah, I'm fine with that. I'm fine with that, Bossman. But like I said, that was poor execution. If you saw right there, like it was just so.
It's like interpretive dance.
Yeah, like it's just look. One of the reasons why I'm not a big fan of musicals and certain stage shows is shit like that. It's shit like that. Like I can't take it serious. I can't, invest myself. It feels so unnatural, and all that. It's just, oh god, it is bad. It is so bad. And this is unfortunately, this is giving people a reason to fucking hate on this shit. Like the wrong people, in my opinion. People who want to hate on fucking black people and gays and women. It's giving those people the fuel to hate on this shit, because that scene had a black lesbian couples, a black and a black woman. It was pretty much, if it was a bingo card, these guys would be fucking loaded right now.
Yeah,
had everything they needed. It was so bad.
Right. Do you know the Proline guy, Hills versus Babyface?
Yeah, of course.
He's done a rant about this. He's also done a rant about Doctor Who, because he had a gay kiss in it. Yeah, spoilers for anyone who's not seen it.
Yeah.
And he's there going, I'll do the press of it. So what we see is that people are being forced to adopt this agenda and ideology rather than a good show. That's literally what he said for more or less verbatim. It's like, for
And
plot's sake, grow up.
And it's shows like this that will give them ammunition, like Zam was
Yeah.
saying, and it'll taint their beliefs when actually good shows come out, and ignorant people that won't even bother to watch the show to make their own opinion, which is weak ass fuck, will just go along with it, and that's too bad. And if you're gonna do a religious scene, especially in the Star Wars universe, it's got to be exceptional. It's got to be out there. You know what I mean? It's got to be alien.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, there's nothing bad with like taking aspects of religious ceremonies that already exist, but just don't copy like basically what looks like a pagan ceremony and make it 10 times worse.
Mm-hmm.
Like
Yeah.
the person. I mean, I can tell you somebody who studied religions. Wicked people don't go around doing interpretive dance. There's actually like ceremony and flaming reasons for the movement. It's not just we do this because it looks cool.
Yeah.
Daniel
What's-
Vaughn says, "I've no issue with modern dance and chanting during an eclipse. People gatekeep it because it's not for them, but there were people who legitimately loved it.
Any person who's a legitimate no people who pretend though those things loved it. People who are actually those things were really offended by it because it makes a mockery of what they believe and what they do.
I came across a few.
I'm deadly serious about this. Sorry.
Well, look, I came across some people who liked episode 3, which was fair enough. You know, there were a few people who liked all of that fucking Power of Benny.
They don't go around doing what it does.
You know, all of that bollocks. It was cool for them. They didn't mind it. They didn't mind the representation. That shit, I said, never ever bothers me. It's just execution and and like people having a go at a gay kiss and stuff like that. Yeah, but what upsets me the most though is that for a while now there are people who dislike everything that's woke, yet they still watch it. They still watch it. What does that say about them? You know, like people like Hill versus Baby Faces, all of these guys.
It's because it gives them it gives them something to rail against, because like they want us to go backwards to I think it was 2008. I think that was the Oscars where it was not a black person or a woman involved in the best directors. I think all the best actors were all white, all the best actresses were white, all the best supporting actors were white, all the actors were white. Everybody was white, and that's what caused Hollywood to say, let's look into how do we address that issue. And they did the right thing, which is that they started putting people in place who could start casting people, more diverse cast race. No, it's not full of them. It's just it's more representative of the world. Then you have a black woman, you have a lesbian woman, because I'm sorry to tell you, people who complain about this, these people exist in the real world. I'd like to see them represented other than this. Well, there, girlfriend. Do you know what, like all the campy bloody stereotypes we got in the fame in the 1980s? Do you want to go back to that? Sorry.
No, I was just waiting for you to finish. I wanted to go next. I listened to you. Just as a personal experience, as someone who is 50, within my lifetime, women in my country weren't allowed to have their own bank account without their husbands or fathers signing for them. So I grew up with a lot of shows where the women in those shows were there as more or less set dressing. They didn't have a personality. They didn't have a purpose. They didn't have a role other than to be the love interest or fuck piece of the main character, who was white and male. And it was, I noticed, and I was a kid, and I didn't like it, and I felt cheated.
Yeah, I know what you mean. And when you say back in the 70s, it was back in the 70s. Women were allowed to have bank accounts.
74.
There you go.
I mean, think about it, Sam. It wasn't until 2014, I think, that it became illegal for you to abuse your wife. Think about that. That's in living memory. Also, it was okay for you to rape your wife. It was okay for for example, if you got to a divorce, things would usually go in her favor because people usually say, well, the man's that was a bit of a sexist thing as well.
Yeah.
See, and much people, I think people overuse the word patriarchy. I think people do it as well. There is an element of patriarchal influence. I think people overuse it because they use it for any sort of in action between man and woman because they use it to get rid of argument. But when it was used legitimately, and it still happens a little bit today, it's the thing. And the thing is that. So do you want to go back to that? Do you want to go back to women basically being sex objects? Like, you know, I mean, I'm not talking like Barbarella when they do it on purpose. I mean, like, literally having there going, like James Bond having a bloody pussy galore.
Dude, they do. They want to go back. I mean, these guys are such they basically are so intertwined with the incel audience because it is incels that watch these motherfuckers that they complain about female characters in video games not being hot enough. You know, like
they complain that women won't date them, so they want to go back to a time where I wouldn't be able to have a job or paid enough to have it, or if I did, wouldn't have the ability to support myself on what little pay there was. So I would have no choice but to be in the dating circuit and marry. Now, men are forced to have something interesting to say, not be aggressive, to be not a gentleman, that's a poor term, but be a human being to other people and treat people with respect. I'm not saying all men were like that before. There are a lot of good men now. There were a lot of good men before. But there's a certain group of people that seem to want to blame women because now that we have freedom and choice, that we are actually using that to say, listen, we are deserving of a good partner.
Chrissy, can I ask you a question? And hopefully this isn't too personal, but did you in the past ever get sexually harassed at work?
I've been raped.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's see, and that's the sort of thing that people who don't understand. That's the reason those protections exist.
But yes, I have been consistently harassed at work. Sorry.
I mean, I know you work. I saw that. Sorry.
I saw that clip of that woman walking. Remember this on the street?
Yes,
and she was getting wolf whistled and hollered, you know, the whole fucking time. And then I saw the counter of that where this woman would talk back at the guys, you know, and stuff like that.
Yeah. The worst one was when a woman followed her. I was like, so she can't live with gender.
Well, she picked up on the fact that woman was hitting on her as well. I mean, she was a very attractive lady, so it's very understandable. But at the same time, it was the woman took advantage. The woman took advantage of her being harassed by guys to then hit on her herself, which was it's just fucked up at another level.
Which is very unacceptable, even more in my opinion.
Yeah.
You should have known better. I mean, and there's nothing wrong with someone politely approaching a stranger and saying, like, how do we meet people, right? How are we going to meet someone anyway?
Yeah.
Hey, listen, I think you look really nice. I would like to get to know you as a person. Could we perhaps meet for coffee? And if someone says no,
I say you're done.
You say, have a nice day. Walk away, you know?
Yeah, you take your chance. And
1,000%. Yeah, but I mean, that should be done.
No, finish off what you're saying, Gary.
No, I was just going to say, like, the best part of the world, that should not happen on the street. That should happen, like, in a social setting, like, if you're in a pub or you're in a gym or something like that. If some guy wants to say, hey, I think you look really nice. Gym. Would you like to go? No, but I mean, like...
Not in a gym, not in a gym.
Somewhere it's more socially... There's people around, the safety nets and stuff like that, the safety protocols.
Yeah, but a gym is there to work out. You know, you shouldn't be getting hit on in the gym. You know,
no, I'm not saying hit on, but just ask out for a coffee. If she says no, hey, just take that out.
I mean, you can't. I mean, look, if somebody did ask you out in the gym, fair enough. Just say no. But I would find that less appropriate than on the street. You know, because you're focusing on doing stuff. You're You know, like you're working in a way. You're working out. You know, the last thing you need is somebody interrupting your routine so they can jump on you. But
And you're a little more exposed because you might be
wearing less.
out of breath. And Gary,
Right.
You got to judge for yourself, but I'm going to suggest don't do it in a gym. Okay? It's better on the street. It's better in public where there's a big crowd around. Like, don't do it in an alley, of course. But that's my suggestion. Do what you like, hon.
No, I'm not saying that I have. I'm just saying because there's trainers around, there's other people around. There is that safety element there than there is on the street. And that's the same offhand. I mean, I've never asked somebody out. I've never asked anyone out.
Well,
I'm just saying
there's
more of a safety net there.
There is a clip I saw of this one woman working out alone in the gym because the gym happened to be. I think she worked out like late at night or whatever.
Yeah.
Because our gyms are 24 hours now.
I'm listening.
And this one other guy came in and basically tried to sexually assault her or rape her or whatever. You know, so there's that too. But I still read this comment from Daniel Vance. I have dated Wiccans. And they most assuredly do walk around doing modern dance. They do the safety dance, Daniel Vance? That's what I would ask you. And that would be, but regardless. So
yes, I mean, yeah, but modern dance is not the same as like rituals and stuff like that.
Say again, mate.
But yeah, I said yeah, but there's between rituals and just going around doing dances. But I would say this though, like I mean, the thing is that, like, I mean, Zane, you can point to this. I mean, like, for people like yourself, isn't it better that you have positive representation for people like yourself than just having, like, oh, here's either the cab driver, the pizza delivery, the person who runs the 7-Eleven, or the terrorist? I mean, we've got to a place where that there's more representation than that. Those three stereotypes there that I just mentioned.
Yeah, we were like. We were never really like people of my race when it comes to Western media. We were never used in confident, positive lights. We were there to be either the villain or to be mocked or some form of humor, you know. And that's how they wanted us to be portrayed when it came to when it came to people who look like me. Obviously, things changed. You started having people like Omar Sharif and stuff, which was good. He kind of started the change in how Middle Eastern people can be represented. Yeah, but yeah, at least it's changed now, and we're no longer this stereotype. So which is good. So
Guys.
Yeah.
I was in the other room. I just remembered one quick clip from that girl that talks back to the guys catcalling her. It was the funniest part. They're like, "Oh, sexy, I want to date you. I want to do this." And one guy goes, "Oh my God, I want to marry you." And she's like, "Okay, let's go. Is there a church around the block?" And he's like, She's like, "No, I accept. Let's go." And he backed. He was afraid.
And one guy awesome. One guy goes, "Hey, mommy," and he goes, "Son."
Yeah, I mean, and this is the thing is that, as I said, do you have a question for Vance?
Yeah, do you ever get the chipmunk at your house, Chris?
No, he's still. I had him outside the door, and before I could shut the door, he ran back in. But I put some water out for him because it was so hot the other day, and I was like, "How does this thing get water in my house?" So until I can get him out, I do feed him. I've got peanuts and they love blueberries and water.
Awesome.
You know, out of my birds, Sunny, Icky, and this girl here, and Lemon. What I love about Lemon is that she's on my hand, but she's like resting her whole like lower body. Like she's not perching. She's just like, okay, I'm gonna sit my fat ass
Yeah.
on your hand as well, and I love that about her. Anyway, come here.
But I was going to say there is one thing that there is one area that people need to work on in Hollywood, and that's people who've got disabilities, right? And as I said, most disabilities we're portrayed one of three ways. It's either we're the stupid idiot, where we get people like Tom Hanks and bloody Dustin Hoffman, who don't have disabilities, portrayed us in stupid ways. Then we have I Am Sam stuff, where it's like proper like over the top gurning crap, or we have somebody who literally has those disabilities and they do a good job. So I'd say something like I don't know, like for example, if you see what's it called, Dead Man's Shoes, the guy who plays a disabled guy that does a really good job of it. To the fact that I thought for legit that he had those issues, he doesn't, but he makes you believe it. And that's the thing. That's what Hollywood needs to portray now. It's like we're just normal people, like And I know this is just weird to say.
Not a trope. Not a trope.
Yeah, like, and I know this is going to be weird for Hollywood too because they don't really nuance. We're on a spectrum. There's people like when I'm talking about flaming. What's good? What's that film with Samuel L. Jackson and Bruce Willis? In Invincible or something, whatever that film is.
Invincible, yeah.
Unbreakable.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Unbreakable, yeah.
Yeah. So like when that's the best representation of a disabled person, it turns out he's the evil genius at the end. Flaming like, and I'm talking that as one of the best ones because Samuel L. Jackson actually did work on it. I mean,
Well, look, but at the same time, that's the thing though, because Samuel L. Jackson isn't disabled. Tom Hanks isn't mentally handicapped. Neither is Sean Penn, who was in that one film where he was I forgot the name of the.
He was insulting in that.
But
yes,
I just feel, but at the same time, like, or maybe you guys disagree with me, but at the end of the day, these guys are actors and they are performing, they're acting. This is what they do, like they. And I think, and I feel sorry for certain people with mental or medical conditions who could actually do the role themselves. But then again, they're not necessarily acting, then are they? They're just really playing themselves. And secondly, if you are difficult to deal with because of your medical condition, then you're less likely to get asked to do the job, and they'd rather just get somebody to act and perform that role themselves. I remember you want to talk about insulting.
We have laws about hiring. You can't discriminate.
Well, it's still as long as you discrimination happens, I believe, once you're working for them. But there's no discrimination if they don't hire you because it's up to them if they want you to give you the job or not. If you know what I mean.
You can challenge and say, I believe they didn't hire me because of this. But if they can prove it was something else, then you'll lose your case.
Yeah, but the thing is that I understand what you mean, but the thing is that it's the same argument that people made when people used to black up or used to do like yellowface or anything like that. It's like, we can't trust them, those sort of people, to do a good job. It's like, just cast people who have that disability but have it on a lesser scale.
Being a race is not a disability, boss man.
That's not what he meant.
Yeah,
that's not what he meant.
I know that, but that was narrow-mindedness. But we are way more aware of saying that if I was a producer or a director and I wanted to do a film about somebody with a particular condition, why would I actually get somebody with that condition when it would be easier for me to hire an actor to act that way and give me the performance that I'm trying to get out of him, then have to tiptoe around somebody who might lose their shit because they are playing somebody who loses their shit.
Okay. First, I think we should address what Bossman said because I think there was a total misunderstanding there. He was saying, not him, but back in the day, it was believed by producers and directors that Black people and people of color couldn't handle the role. And that was just another reason, amongst others, to make people use blackface. So it's not the same, but it is similar in this case, where directors and producers are saying they can't possibly pull this job off. Not because one's a disability and one is just who you are. That's not what is meant there. And there are people on a spectrum with different disabilities where they have more connection to what it's like to live that life, although they might be high functioning. And what I mean by high functioning is, yeah, they can do the job without well, I hate the word spazzing out, but without causing an issue and delaying taping. And yet they can lay it on a little thicker because it'll be more believable if they've lived that life. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for example, I'll give you a perfect example, Sam. Right, I have dyspraxia. Right, I have it on a much easier level than other people who have similar issues. I have it thankfully mildly, so I'm able to communicate and put myself across fairly well. I mean, there's times I get confused and whatever, but I'm still okay. Okay.
No, you're a fucking dickhead.
No, but that's what I mean. But I'll be like, there's people who I've seen and interacted with who have what I have on a much higher level, and they can't interact with anybody because either the stuff they have fucks with their mind too much, and they're too their own head, and they can't to function day to day. It's like really traumatic. And the thing is that I could play that because I've lived it. An actor can't live that, and the thing is that it's going to be really offensive. For the same reason that blackface was really offensive, the reason that yellowface was really offensive, the way that Arab face was really offensive. Okay, because it's trying to say we can't hire them because they're too stupid, ignorant, backward, whatever you want to say, whatever words they used back then, and it's the same issue now. You just looking at these whole people and saying they're all the same, and they're not. We're in a spectrum. You know what I mean?
No, look, I agree that if you're able to do the job, then do the job. But at the same time, I have no problems with actors acting and researching roles and trying to do the jobs themselves as well. Regarding blackface, arrowface, I'll tell you what. There's a film called The Party with Peter Sellers. He plays an Indian guy in that film.
I saw that.
It's one of my favorite comedies of all time. I love that film. It came out in the 60s. His performance is fantastic. Fisher Stevens, I had no idea he was actually white, until later on. He played an Indian guy in Short Circuit 1 and 2. I had no problems with that person. I have no problem with that. And at the same time, we have subtle differences as well with maybe, people playing different nationalities that might be a little shade here or there. Like Anthony Hopkins, he played like the initial Zorro. He's Welsh. Catherine Zeta-Jones is also Welsh. She played the daughter and stuff like that. These are Latin characters.
She was Hispanic.
No, she's Welsh. She's from Wales. But then again, a lot of people who are from Latin America are from white Europe. And they are white people. But like you look at Argentinians. Argentinians don't want to call themselves Latin Americans. They call themselves fucking white. Because that's how they a lot of them see themselves.
Well, in Brazil, I hate to break to them, but there's a lot of Caribbean, African mixed race going on in South America.
Yeah, of course, mixed races are different. The mixed races, black people. I'm just saying, but like Italian people, they're olive skin. They fucking call themselves white. Spanish people, they call themselves fucking white. You end up being a Spanish person like Antonio Banderas, who's not Latino. He's from Spain. He's from Madrid, Spain. He plays a fucking Mexican in Desperados.
But he's not painting his skin. I mean.
I'm sure they done a makeup job on him, to a degree, to give him just a little shade here or there. But the point is, that you got Joseph Gordon-Levitt who played a Frenchman. You got these subtleties now and again. Where
I don't have a problem with, let's say, for example, an actor acting the part. Okay, I don't have a problem with that. Right. What I've got a problem with is that when they don't have a lived experience of it, they tend to go to what I like to call the Wanko Zonko stage, where they seem to think that everything has to be at this level and that's the level. Like I Am Sam is the worst of it, right? Like
Yes.
I Am Sam, if you've not seen it, is insulting. Okay, because Sean Penn, like literally,
I've seen I Am Sam.
I mean, it's fucking insulting, right? I mean, I actually watched that film in horror and actually like watched it all the way through because I was like, there's no way they actually did this legitimately. And the story that they did was actually really heartbreaking about this disabled guy who loses his daughter. That should be heartbreaking, but I'm not. I'm flaming annoyed that flaming Sean Penn's doing this awful role that got Oscar nominated for.
But you know, you talk about experiences. There's roles you'll never be able to have experiences. Who the fuck can play? Like you got roles like Dracula. Like nobody's a fucking vampire boss, man. You know, you got people. You know, hold on. You got the role of Drexel, who was played by Gary Oldman in one of my favorite films of all time, True Romance. He played a white Rastafarian, you know, American Rastafarian. Gary Oldman, the British actor, but he fucking killed it. He was only on the screen for a handful of minutes. It's such a memorable role, one of his most memorable roles, you know, and he fucking killed it in that role. You know, you can be good at your job and not have any experiences, but research a role, which is what actors should do, in order to pull off the character that you're portraying. That's all I'm saying.
I agree with you. Acting, that is their job, to act as something or someone, I should say. But there are some roles that no one would be able to fill just because they are fictional. You're totally right, Dracula being one of them. But it should not be limited to people not being allowed to try out and win a role because they happen to have a disability. That shouldn't be allowed. There should be some, you know, they should be allowed to actually have a hope of getting that job. I'm not saying every time. It should go to the best actor.
Christopher Reeve, after he broke his neck for falling off that horse, he wasn't getting any work anymore, unfortunately for him. But he did get one role, I think, in
It was a remake of was it Rear Window?
No. I'm talking about Smallville, where he played some sort of like tech billionaire who was in a wheelchair, obviously, and then all of that, and he kind of played up to that stereotype, you know, to a degree. And but he was playing a stereotype at the same time, you know, to a degree. But at least he got him some work. But the guy was fucking, you know, he was handicapped from the neck down, you know. But that's all he could do at the same time. And he was lucky that he was Superman, or he would not have got that fucking gig on Smallville, you know.
But I mean, actually, Gary Oldman's actually a good thing that you just brought up. Have you ever heard of a film called Tiptoes?
Yes.
Right. Gary Oldman plays a dwarf.
Yeah.
Dwarf, midget, a little person, whatever the term is these days. Right. Gary Oldman is not a dwarf. He's not a midget. He's not a little person. That was insulting to a lot of people who are those things.
You know who also played a dwarf? John Rhys Davies in Lord of the Rings. He played a dwarf as well, and he was phenomenal because they wait. And you know who also played small people? Elijah Wood and all the other people, all the other guys. They played small people. We could have been played by dwarf actors, but they didn't. They didn't because the direction and the cinematography was so phenomenal that people look past all of that. Now, don't get me wrong. Maybe those roles should go to small actors, but this is the direction.
Not necessarily.
But then again, we're talking about people who are small, but they've done such a great job with the directing and the cinematography and the filming and the special effects that it was very seamless what they did, you know? Yeah.
The vast majority of actors in that Hobbit village were small people.
Okay.
But it shouldn't be every time. It should be based on your acting.
Yeah, but those we're talking about.
Agree.
We're talking about extras.
That's why on the show Bones, there was an actress who was a little person, she had a role in that because she could act, you know.
Yeah. And Peter Dinklage is another one. You know, he's a phenomenal actor.
Yeah.
And they needed a guy with dwarfism on the show, and he was the only American, I think, in Game of Thrones. Everyone else was either British or some sort of European actor. I think he was the only American on it, and he was phenomenal. I mean, his British accent also was phenomenal. Not many American male actors can do a good British accent, and his one was was very good, very noble. And yeah, he was a great actor, and he deserved the role. And I'm very happy that he got it.
Okay. Here's the difference between Lord of the Rings and Tiptoes. Okay. Lord of the Rings is a fictional film set in Mordor, which doesn't exist. Okay. And dwarves don't exist in the manner that they do in Lord of the Rings. Okay. In real life, little people do exist. And that was the whole point, is that like you get an actor. Gary Oldman was one of the best actors alive. Let's not make no bones about it. Like, but he should not be playing a little person. Okay, and even he's embarrassed by it. So that should tell you that you need to know.
Yeah. I'm fair enough. I mean, I'm just, you know, but would it be fictional or not? You know, if characters are supposed to be smaller than humans, they're only supposed to be like 3 foot tall or whatever. They should be played by dwarves. But then again, there has been films with dwarf actors. One of my favorite, I'm always going on with my favorites, is Time Bandits. That film was fantastic.
I was going to say that.
No, Time Bandits is fantastic,
Yeah.
but they don't make it, you know, in enough films like that, which incorporate them and stuff. And unfortunately, small dwarf actors are used in more for comical value, which is a shame. You know, but that's how it was. It's not how it is. Not anymore. It's changing. I want to read some comments.
Okay.
And Jerry Jewell from Deadwood has always been a good representation for the disabled. Loved her on Facts of Life as a kid. Daniel Day-Lewis in my left. Yes, Daniel Day-Lewis in my left foot was phenomenal.
Yes, I agree with that.
He was very good. Ben Still in Tropic Thunder was the opposite side of the spectrum. His portrayal was horrible, but that was the whole point. Yeah, and also as we go on about Tropic Thunder, you talk about blackface. You know what Robert Downey Jr. did on that, which was obviously a satirization. Yeah, of blackface, which was fantastic. But there are people who I watched on YouTube, black reviewers who said that he was so good they almost forgot that he wasn't black. You know,
Yeah. But that wasn't meant to be. Oh, we can't find a good black actor. This character in that role was a man that did method acting to the point where he was ridiculous enough to think that he could just don blackface and it's okay.
Yeah.
It wasn't like we accept this as the correct thing to do. This was because just like we have villains in movies and murderers, characters do bad things sometimes, or incorrect things, or stupid things, or silly things, and I think it's very hard to do that sort of thing, and it's probably the only show other than the one you brought up from the 60s where it was done well.
Yep. So space movies should have actual actors because they have more experience with being in space. I mean, yeah, that's the argument I was making, not saying that they should. I mean, I know you're being sarcastic there, Daniel Barnes, but yeah, sometimes the only experiences you can have is by researching a role, and even you have to give the producer, the director, the filmmakers the benefit of the doubt for knowing what they want from a performance, from an actor, from the look, because you might have the condition to portray that role really well. You just might not look the part. You might be, the role might be for somebody who is white and you happen to be black, and that goes against what they want from what they're portraying. But the guy might be, an ethnic guy from Norway, for instance. Well, we can't then have a black guy playing this person because he's not ethnically from fucking Norway. Regardless of him having the same mental condition or physical condition. But so all of these things have to come into the equation.
And I don't disagree. I'm just saying I think you can correct me if I'm wrong, boss man, is that people should have the opportunity, regardless of their physical or mental diagnosis, to at least be considered, and
Yes.
only chosen if they're good at it and they fit the role.
Yes.
For me,
Yes.
though, what I would want from the actor who has that condition to be able to act, fine, you can do that role. Can you do this role? You know,
Yes.
because I want to see what your range is as an actor. Great. You might be good for this, but can you be good for that? Can you be good for this? Are you capable of even going anywhere near that? Because you should be able to, as an actor or an actress, you should be able to challenge yourself regardless of your conditioning to be able to do certain things. Obviously, if you're disabled, obviously there are still things you are limited in doing. But if you have to play a disabled guy, you know, who maybe you got no legs, so maybe you happen to play a guy with no legs who's from, you know, in a Musketeer movie, and you only have like one scene to do. Are you capable of doing that? You know, as well as maybe playing a guy who loses his legs in space. Are you capable of doing that? You know,
No,
or maybe
you're being a little ridiculous. No one's going to audition for the role of, you know, the Musketeers if they have no limbs. I mean,
no, not in the musket as a background, as a character.
As a background character.
No, or more like somebody who only gets maybe 15 seconds of screen time, you know, something like that. But my point is, and even though 15 seconds of screen time, maybe like it's in that era, that period, you know, like it's set in that time period, but it's not to do with the Musketeers, but you might be focused on you as the main character. Can you do that? You know, are you able to do that? If you're just because you're capable of doing this one role, which you can nail, how good of an actor are you that can you do other stuff as well? You know, and that should also come into the equation when it comes to their filmography, their biography, their talent. You know, the range they can show for a variety of different performances that they have to portray in their career as an actor, not just a one and done.
Oh, to be a successful actor for sure. But if I were directing a film, I would just want a good actor for the roles I'm filling. Honestly,
okay.
I'd be greedy like that. I'd be like,
Yeah,
I don't care what you played before, good or bad. Are you good for this role for the movie I'm making? You know,
Well,
to be successful actor, yeah, you got to do it all for sure.
yeah, I mean, I have no problem with an able-bodied guy playing a disabled guy, because people been playing people with limbs and stuff like that, or with one arm or stuff like that. That's cool. I have no problem with that. The problem comes when it turns into parody. And I'm not talking about parody like I'm not talking like in Tropic Thunder, where it's obviously a piss take. I'm talking about a legitimate film
or playing a trope.
Okay,
right?
what about there's something about Mary. Remember the beginning before he zips his fucking dick in his flies, he's having to deal with Mary's brother who has a mental condition. Now, it might not come across as politically correct nowadays, but they fucking went there with something about Mary. And please tell me you remember. Please tell me you remember.
Yes, I remember that role. Yeah,
let's bring it up. Let's bring it up.
Well, there's a difference between playing like someone who's disabled or playing. It doesn't follow nowadays because it's politically incorrect. But back in the day, it was a comedy, and it was a trope, honestly. And that's kind of lazy.
I'm just saying,
laughed. I remember laughing. I'm not going to deny it.
No, but I'm just saying regarding that this person is portraying a character that is, and he's supposed to be doing it for laughs. That's the whole performance. He's supposed to be going there. You know, even I'm not going to show the clip, but even the character Doofy in oh god, what was the piss take of Scream?
Scary Movie.
Scary Movie 1. Yeah, where this guy is playing. He's clearly playing somebody who's mentally handicapped to a degree in Officer Doofy, but then you find out later on that he was faking it all along. You know, even Kevin Spacey's performance in Usual Suspects, where he was faking it all along, and he's playing a guy who's handicapped, but he wasn't. Yeah, like they were like really good performances because they had this fault. You know,
I think we're arguing in circles because I don't really believe anyone disagrees here.
No, I've got. I think Vance made a good point. Was that it's like getting astronaut actors. Yeah, you got good points. There's always more of lived experience you can get before it gets ridiculous. Like you're not going to be able to get an actor who has supreme. Like for example, My Left Foot is a good one. Like an actor with the sort of disabilities that guy had wouldn't be able to be directed because he can't comprehend the world the way we can uncommunicate it. Whereas Daniel Lewis can because he's a great actor. So again, the certain actors I get, but what I'm saying is that where possible, get somebody with those actual issues, even if it's at a much lower level, and then you can just do it. Boom.
As long as they can act, and I think that's what we're all agreeing on. So
Yeah,
maybe
I agree.
we should go.
Yeah, we are
Move
going in
on.
circles. A dude playing another dude. All right, yeah, that's obviously from Tropic Thunder. Okay, so guys, it is time for
Zam's TikTok treasures.
I
know
love
this
your
is
face.
Daniel.
I love your face on that.
Oh, thank you very much. So, let's have a look. Oh, this is so interesting, by the way. This is so interesting. We're going to start off with something really interesting and funny. Daniel Vance, I want you on this one. Check this out.
There's going to be an Olympics next year where the athletes are allowed to take performance-enhancing drugs. It's called the Enhanced Games, and while it's got nothing to do with the Olympics organization, in fact, I don't think they like this idea at all, they promise to have all of the same events, including freaking combat sports, while the athletes can pump, juice, and dope however they see fit. The founder, Aaron D'Souza, says that they want to break every world record there is, and claim that these games will fundamentally change the trajectory of not just sports, but humanity as a whole. However, not everyone's on board with the idea. The head of the US anti-doping agency called it a dangerous clown show. Two-time Olympic champion Kieran Perkins said it was borderline criminal and that someone would die if it was allowed to go ahead. Now, in response to the criticism, the games actually believe that sport could be safer without drug testing, saying that because athletes would be able to openly seek performance-enhancing drugs, they wouldn't have to buy them from shady illicit sources, and that medical advice and monitoring will be on hand at all times to pick up any danger signs in the athlete systems. But that's not even the part that I found the most interesting, because they also claim that most Olympians don't get paid a salary and are driven into debt.
I started driving for DoorDash.
I worked at Panera, a bank. The financial strain is huge.
Highlighting that the tennis players who lose the first round of Wimbledon take home double the amount of prize money that a gold medal winning US Olympian would receive. They say that any athlete who decides to compete in the Enhanced Games will receive a base salary and compete for prize winnings which will be larger than any other comparable event in history. So the question is this a dangerous idea that undermines all of the sports, or a genius idea that disrupts a system that needs to be changed? How am I just finding...
Well. What a way to start, fellas. What do you think of that?
It's horrible.
Can I?
Go for it.
It's the stupidest idea I've ever heard of in my life. All right, and I'll explain why. Right, what testosterone performance anti do? They enlarge your heart because in order for you to count the muscle mass that you're doing, your heart has to enlarge because it has to take on an entire new bulk that your frame is not built for. So what tends to happen, and this has happened a few times in the actual Olympics, is that when people are on this shit, they tend to have heart attacks, like a lot. That's why, if you know who Ben Johnson is, he won the Olympics while on something. He had in his life, just after he finished, he had 3 fucking heart attacks. Do you know why? Because he had an enlarged heart from the shit he was taking, and that was done by a proper doctor. Because they decided to legally inject him rather than illegally inject him. A lot of people in in Germany and stuff like that, and Russia, where they allowed this stuff, did the same thing when they had all sorts of medical issues. So there's medical problems that come with it. So this whole idea, genius idea, no, dumbass idea, you're going to die. There you go.
I think it's a horrible example for children. And I think there's not only going to be those short-term events, like you said, with Ben Johnson and the like, because he won for Canada and then the medal was taken, which is fine. But there'll be long-term medical issues. They won't live an entire life. And the heart enlarges because you have to push so much more blood. And the heart's a muscle, so it gets stronger and bigger to the point where it doesn't push the blood well enough, and you die.
All right. Look, I don't know. Look, this is. I've never known anything like this. This is the most unique thing I've seen when it comes to sport. What worried me the most is combat sports, because if these guys start, are taking all types of steroids and juicing up, the rage they might feel in competitive sports, like they might beat somebody to death, and they might beat the referee trying to stop them from beating that guy to death. All of those sort of things. But regardless of me saying all of this stuff, I'm sorry, I'm curious. I need to see if this is definitely going to happen. I'm just too curious not to see how it goes, because sometimes I want to see a fucking train wreck, and I'm happy to watch it, And now it's not whether we have the option of choosing whether it's going to happen or not. It's going to happen, and so for that reason, I'm curious. I need to see it, even though I don't promote it and condone it. Yeah,
I'll wait because there'll be a train wreck, but I won't watch it directly and give them money for doing this because I think it's wrong. I'll wait till it's reported in the news.
Here's somebody I've never heard of.
How many people are going to have long-term medical conditions because of this? If he's
No doubt.
it's going to be half the bloody roster, if not more.
What's Daniel saying?
Willie Mays died at the age of 93. My God, that's a long life.
Yeah, I mean, the guy's a bloody legend. I mean, Willie Mays is literally like one of the best sportsmen who ever lived.
Well, he wasn't doping.
Donald Sutherland is also dead. I mentioned Gary Oldman earlier. Like before Gary Oldman, there was Donald Sutherland. His range is like of in acting is. I don't think people gave him enough credit. My God, that guy, he has had such a varied variety of acting roles. I think he'll be back.
Yeah.
It's a shame that he's no longer with us. Love the guy. He's a fantastic actor. Canadian as well, I believe.
Yes.
Yeah.
But his sons went to the same preschool I went to. Obviously, a different time, but he lived a long, good life, and he was a great actor.
Yeah, I'm glad that his son, Kiefer Sutherland, even though obviously nepotism helped him with his career, has done very well to come out of his dad's shadow. When I think of Kiefer Sutherland, I don't think of Donald Sutherland.
No,
I haven't. I don't. Yeah.
Charlie Sheen is his other son.
No. Charlie Sheen is the son of Martin Sheen, and Martin Sheen and Emilio Estevez is his brother, and he's taken the name of his mother.
Okay, I had it mixed up. Sorry.
Yeah. So, all right. So on to if Bossman's coming back.
TikToks.
Yeah. Okay. I know you're not watching The Boys, but this is still interesting.
And it's got me thinking, how are we 4 seasons into this show and 1 season away from it being completely finished? A spinoff in. And some of you losers, some of you bozos have not grasped the fact that it's making fun of you. How are some of these losers sitting on their couch watching the show and not taking a single thing in? How are there actual incels watching and enjoying this show? Do you know what you're watching? What? I don't even think, it's not even that subtle. It's written really well, and it's a funny show. It has some crazy shit, some crazy lines, but it's not that, the nuance isn't that subtle. If media literacy dies, we die. Because there's no way. If you are sexist, if you are racist, if you're an incel, if you're misogynistic, if you're anything, if you're homophobic, whatever, you should be the last person watching the show. They're making fun of. So I just saw this.
Okay, so only now are right-wing fans of The Boys starting to realize that this show is making fun of them. Now, in season 1 they were making fun of organized religion, and every season they make fun of is making fun of capitalism. Season 2 he made fun of Nazis, and the guy Homelander, who is the who some people have made videos about being actually the good guy, was banging this Nazi chick in season 2. And in season 1, by the way, there was a plane that was going to crash, and he's supposed to be this hero, but he never rescued the plane crash. He thought, fuck it, I can't be asked. And so the plane crashed, and loads of people died, including children. So he's not a hero for that. In season 3, there was this guy who like represented the All Lives Matter movement. He looks like a cop and stuff like that. Likes to beat the shit out of black people. And this other superhero called A-Train kills him by A-Train can run really fast. A-Train grabs is at his leg and runs so fast that he's scraping his whole body across the road like roadkill. But these are all elements of wokeism in the first 3 seasons. Now in season 4, they really are showing off that the MAGA movement, you know, I could kill somebody on Fifth Avenue and get away with it and all of that sort of stuff. Homelander is basically like Donald Trump with superpowers. And finally, these right-wingers have caught on that this show's making fun of them. It makes fun of the left as well, but only in the sense of consumerism when it comes to, you know, LGBTQ and stuff like that, regarding how corporations try to market that, you know. But the reality, and even that's really making fun of the right, to tell you the truth. But it makes fun of the right properly in this show. The guys who make the show are progressive. This show is woke. I've mentioned so many times in my reviews how fucking woke this show is. It's not broke. And now the right wingers are hating it so much. They are review bombing this season, which is incredible, because they finally cottoned on that they're being made fun of. There you go. That's basically it. Where's
companies like to use any social thing that's coming up, whether it's the environment or gay rights, to sell you shit, and we fall for it. I try not to, but I can see, yeah, they do that.
Yep.
Is Bossman coming back?
I'm just messaging him now. He's kind of responding to me, but now he hasn't. Let's see what he says. When he does get back to me, I'll let you know. Here's more Nigel Farage.
All right.
So this is the most economically deprived area in England.
I know.
Would you apologise for what Brexit's done to Clacton?
No, thank you.
Well done, Emma.
Thank you. I didn't hear the question.
Brexit has cost every household £2,000.
Oh, put a
minimum.
note on. Put a note on.
Okay, so you don't care.
You're right.
You don't care.
I know.
You don't care that Brexit has made Clacton worse off. Is that what you said?
That's fine.
Is there an apology to the people of Clacton?
Excuse me.
Oh, he really don't care.
Well, he doesn't have an answer. Yeah, that's how I look at it. I think he cares enough that he's being highlighted as the charlatan that many of us know that he is. But he has no answer for this, because this guy, he's an exhibitionist. That's all he is. He doesn't really want to get into power, because that would be more work than he could possibly imagine, and then he'll probably end up having to answer for a lot of the things that he's done. But then again, maybe not, but he is the prime minister, and as we all know, powerful people get away with shit. But it's just his rhetoric is anti-immigration and all of that sort of stuff. But he has no answers. He has no answers for anything, and that's typical.
He doesn't need to. He doesn't need to have answers, because all those supporters of him, all they want to hear or need to hear is immigrants did it.
Now, regarding Donald Trump, well, the thing with grifters and liars, bullshitters, it's very hard to maintain that level all the time. Sometimes the truth does slip out here and there, you know. And this is one moment it does. Check it out.
Oh,
By
yeah.
the way, isn't that breeze nice? Do you feel the breeze? Because I don't want anybody going on me. We need every voter. I don't care about you. I just want your vote. I don't care. See, now the press will take that and they'll say he said a horrible thing. By the way, isn't that?
I mean, the guy is so selfish that last time round, people were like, were fainting in the audience of dehydration. And he got the bottle of water, remember that? And he drank it himself. But this time round, he doesn't want any attention going away from him. He wants all the attention on him. And he basically said to them, I don't care about you. I just want your vote.
Yep. It was 103 degrees. It was record temperatures that day. People had been waiting hours. He was lucky no one died of heat stroke, frankly. And you're right. It was just like last time when someone did faint and people were yelling for water. And he was so proud because he got the water and drank it with one hand. And I saw this last week or the week before when it actually happened. And he said, I don't care about you. Just like basically vote for me, he says. I'm paraphrasing. Yep. And they clapped. They fucking clapped.
It doesn't matter what he does, what he says, they will follow him off a cliff. You know, he wants to fuck his own daughter, offers you nothing. You know, they're going about Biden's mental decline. Trump is no different. He chats a lot of shit.
He's a millionaire, billionaire that wants your money. Why do people give him money if he's so goddamn rich? He's not, but
yeah, exactly. But anyway, let's remember this guy.
Yeah.
The first Black Samurai is being featured in a samurai video game. Can you guess the things that people are saying? Erasing the Japanese from their own history. The character in question is Yasuke, an actual historical figure that is a part of Japanese history. But that's still woke, apparently. Blacks never existed in Japan. When it was a blue-eyed samurai, everything was okay. So how come when it's a black guy samurai, everybody has something to say? Assassin's Creed has time travel, Attack on Titan memory manipulation, and a whole bunch of other fictional stuff. Even some of the most iconic things about samurai media, like Bushido, are totally made up. But when a historical figure shows up in a period-appropriate game, suddenly DEI is to blame. He's not even the only playable character. A Japanese protagonist is right there. If representation makes you this angry, you don't need to be playing Assassin's Creed. Put that controller down and get some therapy. The first...
That's kind of become his catchphrase at the end,
yeah,
regarding therapy and stuff like that. Guy says he'll be back, by the way. He's just doing some stuff for his mom.
I've seen this one before. It's hilarious, even the second time.
Oh, really? Have I played it before? Sorry, I thought I didn't.
No, it was weeks ago. I mean, and not everyone's going to watch every show, so...
Okay, this is interesting. Check it out.
So apparently last night at a Coldplay concert, an Israeli comedian attempted to rush the stage to drape an Israeli flag on it, except he tripped in the process and crashed into the lighting setup and broke a rib and an ankle. And to that, I have to say, I hope the lights are okay. I mean, everyone knows they have a right to defend themselves. So,
love it. Yeah.
Hear about Macklemore's song?
Yeah, I know about him, the rapper. Yeah.
Yeah, he did a pro-Palestinian song. It's actually pretty good.
I've shared that out many times and all of that. Now, this one's interesting. But for a start, I know about this place. This is in an area called Kilburn, which is only a couple of miles away from where I live. This is Nando's. Do you get Nando's in Canada?
No, but it's like a Walmart or Target for those who need to know with the
No.
food.
It's basically a chicken and chips place, but the
Oh,
food is
okay.
like the chicken is piri piri.
I was thinking of Tesco's. Sorry.
No problem. Nando's, I don't mind the food. I'm not saying I dislike it. I don't dislike it at all. But I've never been the people that have been blown away by Nando's because they are blown. There's a lot of people who think Nando's is the greatest thing since the fucking invention of the wheel. And I'm happy to eat Nando's. I'll happily eat it maybe 2-3 times a week if that's the case. I have no problem with that. But it's not as mind blowing as people think it is. But regardless, that's not the issue when it comes to this particular segment. Check this out, because this woman does make a good point.
I don't usually make live TikToks, right? But I'm in Nando's in Kilburn with my 2 little sisters. That one over there. And this one over here. Now, if you notice, there's some black girls in the back and a Somalian family in the back. When we arrived, we were ushered to the back of Nando's, right? Ushered, like, oh, do you want to sit at the back? I thought, oh, yeah, cool, like, you know, it's fine. Like, I didn't think anything of it, right? Look at all these empty seats, right? Everyone that's in the seats that's not in the back are of a lighter complexion or different race. So my little sister was like, oh, maybe they put the black people in the back, and I was laughing, oh, maybe they do. But then we realized, actually, when I got in, there was a black man sitting in the back when it was completely empty. So I was like, Then I thought, I looked up and I thought, oh, that's interesting design. And then my sister mentioned, it kind of looks like nooses. And I was like, what? Look at this. This is above our heads, guys. This is above our heads. Now, I don't know if this is like a Nando's feature, but I ain't seen this before in my life. They look like little nooses, right? And all the pictures around us. Now, I know Nando's is the black Portuguese square for bar. And we're in a segregated area at the back.
There's so many empty seats.
Only the black people.
Yeah.
Just a food for thought. I really done spent my money before I found out. I wasn't even like, let's go to a different place. But can you believe it? Or is it just me? Because that don't look right. It don't look right. It's not right. I've been watching everyone come in and they're seeing everyone not of a dark brown complexion outside of the barriers. And we are in the barriers next to the toilet. The toilet is over there. There the toilet is. Nando's Kilburn fix up, yeah? Because it doesn't look good. We know the play, we know the game.
So,
she doesn't even need to point at the ceiling. If she's already got enough, right? There's empty seats, a lot of empty seats at the front. Everyone wants to sit by the window. Your waitress or waiter, you know that. And the only, the single black guy, her family, and then another family come in, and they're the only ones in the back. Restaurants want to push people to the front so others walk by going, oh, a lot of people are eating here. Must be good food. I'll go in too. That's the premise, right?
Yep. That's what I've always thought. But they're probably worried that, oh no, look, if we put black people at the front, people will be too scared to come in. That's their mindset, which is why they throw them all at the back. Without that, racist as fuck. Like you're right. The nooses was just for me one sign too many, but I'm gonna look past that and give that one benefit of the doubt, even though I feel like I shouldn't be giving racist fucks a benefit of the doubt on anything. But for me, the more serious matters is the fact that they want to hoard all the black people at the back of the fucking restaurant, back of the bus, Rosa fucking Parks. It's really sad. It really is. And
because I don't think those. I think the ceiling decorations were just a bunch of rope by some probably really bad artist. But she there could have been nothing there. It wasn't needed. There was already proof. You know what I mean? It was already very apparent.
I'll be honest, with that entire family on their phones, I'm surprised that they were even observant of the surroundings. It was the mother, or she said that she's with her sisters, but honestly, they look like kids. But regardless, she wasn't aware of these things until it was brought up to her by somebody else in one of her sisters. And sometimes they might even say it nonchalantly, but then it triggers you in a way that, you know what, there might be something there. And then then you're aware of these things. And then what she said was 100% factual as far as I was concerned. It made no sense for them to be at the back, all the black people at the back. Sorry, Freudian slip there. All right.
Like one dot was pointed out to her, and then she started seeing all the dots and connected them. I'm getting some water.
Okay, I'll be back. I have my water, by the way. This is lemon and lime, sugar-free flavored water from Morrison's. And this is the stuff I drink now instead of Coca-Cola or even Coke Zero or any of that shit. I prefer this. What the fuck? Okay. Mel Gibson confirmed as director of Lethal Weapon 5, so is he not going to be in it or just directing it? Danny Glover can hardly fucking move anymore, so I can't fathom him being in it. Will it be like Riggs and Butters? You know, the character played by my God, why is his name Chris Rock from Lethal Weapon 4? Maybe Murtaugh has passed away. I'll take that. Amazon, I heard about this. A sequel to Space. This is no, like.
What's he say?
Well, first of all, Mel Gibson will direct Lethal Weapon 5. But I'm not sure if he's going to star in it. But if you've seen Danny Glover recently, the guy is so fragile and old that he can't be in an action movie like Lethal Weapon 5. Mel Gibson might have a bit of mobility in him, but he can still do the action roles is another thing. But right. Chris Rock was in Lethal Weapon 4 playing the son-in-law of Murtaugh. He played, I think his name was Butters. And it could be Riggs and Butters for Lethal Weapon 5. Regardless, like Lethal Weapon 5 came out so many years ago now. I think it might have came out in the late 90s. It was that long ago. But we don't need it. And then a sequel to Spaceballs. Now, I love Spaceballs, but this is one of those moments where they make a sequel so late that it's not going to do the... It's going to be...
People won't get it unless they were around for the first one, I think, because it's a time and age thing when you watched it, and that's not kind of the movie you want to do a second to. It's a cult classic.
Yeah, exactly. Like John Candy's dead. Bill Pullman. This film was 35 years ago now. In 1989, I think it came out. It's like, as much as I like Spaceballs, I don't know, man. I mean, look, there are exceptions to the rules because Top Gun Maverick, which was a sequel to the original Top Gun, it's very good. I hate to say it, it's very good. I thought that would be a shit film, and a lot of people were in there expecting it to be a shit film, but it shook them. It was better than they anticipated. But I'm not sure about this one. Like this style of comedy, it might be a thing of the past.
Yeah.
And so.
Hopefully we're pleasantly surprised, but I think it's going to be difficult.
Yeah. Consider, like a lot of these actors are. If you're trying to bring back some of the cast members from then, they're going to be so fucking old.
unless they can somehow lean into that as part of the joke. Maybe.
But old jokes are just stupid nowadays. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. Like, it's more. I don't know. Like the whole point of Spaceball was the parody of Star Wars. Like they have to maintain that, but how do they do it without with that Mel not Mel Gibson, out what's it Mel. Oh God, what was his name? The guy who does.
I'm one of those people
Mel Brooks.
that watch.
Mel Brooks.
Yeah, I watch
Is that
movies.
yeah.
For the movie, I'm not so much into the names, the actors and directors. I'm starting to though.
Well, Mel Brooks had his own sort of style. Like one of my favorite comedies of all time, and it's in my top 3 or 5 of favorite comedies of all time, is Blazing Saddles.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love Blazing Saddles, and that's a Mel Brooks movie, and you can see that element of his comedy style also in Spaceballs. But I don't know. I mean, Mel Brooks is in his 90s now. I don't know if he can still bring it into.
Yeah, there's certain styles that like that's a Guy Ritchie movie. Like, yeah, that's a Quentin Tarantino movie.
Yeah, exactly. Anyway, let's get back to this. Here's some more Nigel Farage. Also, far right piss take.
Far right provocateur and media piglet called Tommy Robinson. He puts out for D-Day. He puts out this picture, which is just sensational. I don't know what it is. There's so many of these, just populist bellends online are obsessed with AI. It's not like there isn't pictures of the heroics of the D-Day landings. Have a look. Have a look at this image.
There. Oh, yeah.
Look at that.
That's how big the ships were.
Look at the direction the troops are going in.
They had finished, Andrew. Job done. Let's walk back into the sea, boys.
I saw that.
We can.
Who are these soldiers fighting? Are they going to liberate Europe from the evil of Neptune? He tried to defend it by going, they were evacuating the casualties.
Sarge, I've been hit. Someone drag him into the sea. That's the only way to fix this. Get some salt.
I mean,
that
picture.
Sorry.
Yeah, no, that picture alone just kind of shows you like how stupid Tommy Robinson is, who wasn't there for the D-Day celebrations, by the way, but then throws out this art of the AI art of the soldiers going back into the sea. They're really fucking stupid. Like the right wing are really stupid, and you know what?
So I just got so excited because it's military stuff, and I know a little bit about that. To say you're evacuating the wounded, let alone is ridiculous. There's no ship there to take that person to. When you're in something like a battle, you fight through the battle until you win before you attend any casualties, or you will definitely lose. And when you're taught, if you're hit, you attend to your own wounds because it takes 4 people to help one wounded. So they have to fight through the objective, and then it's ammo cas. You count your ammo, help the casualties. So to say that, that just shows how much he doesn't know about the military. Although he's one of those people that are all like, ooh, Army, Navy, Air Force, I love them, but has no concept of what they do.
Yeah, all these motherfuckers who are like that, they wouldn't fucking join the military if they had their fucking life depended on it.
Yeah.
As well, yeah. But all right, so I think it's time for a bit of this.
They took our jobs!
They took your job! They took your job! Took your job!
Because I like making fun of MAGA as much as the next fucking dude. And this one is beautiful with the good light. The good lies. I'm just going to put the volume up on this. I'm going to quickly run to the toilet, but I will be able to hear it with my headphones on. So let's rock and roll.
Crybabies. So I mean, this is America. We
but you're like no offense, but like sounds like you're crying about transgender stuff right now.
I'm crying about it, and the transgender people are crying too. That's America. So people need to just man up, and you got a problem, settle it. argue about it, and walk away. You don't have to cancel people. You don't have to put people.
But aren't you trying to cancel them? Like not let them be who they want to be?
No, he's not. What I don't like, what I do want to cancel them from pushing it on people because that's against our Constitution. You cannot force another person to have the same views as you, just like they're trying to have me not have the views I want, but they want me to have their views, which is,
It sounds like you kind of want everyone to be free, and then that's okay. I think that's freedom is just them existing. I think that's what people are saying. They just want to exist and feel like accepted in society for just who they are.
That's what America's about. Yeah.
So you're fine with
Don't force
transgender
your
people?
lifestyle over on them.
I don't think anybody's trying to force it on
No,
you.
it is, man.
It is being forced. Mass
I think it's just acceptance.
Go to cartoons, go to TV. It's all over, and it was forced on us, just like all these lies that the media puts out there.
Just saying that somebody exists is not forcing it on them. Like gay people exist, transgender people exist, Trump supporters exist, Christians exist. It's just existing.
It's America. Exactly. People are starting to be a bunch of crybabies.
Okay, let me tell you what's being forced here. It's like the fucking 10 Commandments in schools. That's what's being fucking forced. Religious indoctrination in schools, taking away public money from public schools in America and making them Christian conservative schools and making people of various faiths having to follow Christian indoctrination. Christian indoctrination is being forced on people. That's what's being forced, not this. And I'm very happy that the Good Lies called that fucker out. Anything you want to say about that?
Yeah, I actually started to see that guy think for a second till that dickhead in the back started, which is too bad because he was very calm, which he normally is when he does this stuff, and he just points out the hypocrisy and how you want this, but you don't want other people to have this. And then they use the America thing, and then he points out, well, that also applies to other Americans. And I think he was actually, he wasn't going to change his mind that day, but he was planting a good seed.
Yep, most definitely. So more Good Lies here talking to this dude regarding CNN being fake news. I mean, I'm no fan of CNN, but when you get questioned, you better have an answer.
Yeah.
Fake news, CNN. It's all fake. Fake Tapper, CNN. We're going to find out next week.
At the debate?
Yes, absolutely. He's going to cook them. Just shred them. Yeah. Just like a turkey.
What do you want Trump to say to CNN next week?
Just expose them. Just expose them for the fraud they are.
And what specifically have they lied about?
I don't know. I don't watch it.
Yeah, sure. It's just peeing on it and you call it fake news. So what specifically have they lied about? What makes them fake news?
I don't know. I don't watch it. I watch Fox News.
You call them fake news. Why do you think they're fake news? What are they saying that's fake? All right, there you have it. Fake
Cricket
news,
sounds.
CNN.
It's so easy to own these fuckers when you just throw some logic and common sense.
I don't know. I don't watch them. I watch Fox News.
Yeah, like these Trump voters, these MAGA guys, they're so fucking stupid, and we're gonna come across one of the most stupidest ones you've ever seen in your entire life right now.
Cool.
This guy is like the boomer of boomers, and let's check it out.
I've come up with an idea for the 2024 election.
I think you gave away your idea with the text box above your head, but do continue.
I think we ought to pass a law in Congress that Democrats should not be allowed to vote in the general election.
Oh, I can't wait to hear the reasons for your fascism.
Now, reason being there is that, number one, Democrats is a threat to national security.
It took you a little while to get there, but why do you say that?
They can't be trusted.
Genius. I throw in the towel. You win the argument.
All right. And number two
You don't have to go on. I told you won.
is that they always vote for the wrong person.
Nuh-uh, you do.
We can't have people who vote for the wrong person.
And I suppose the right person can only be identified by wearing one of their hats?
It's insane.
I agree. Your idea is insane.
We can't have that. Number three,
This is probably the most thinking you've done in 76 years.
is that Democrats have an inherent genetic defect.
Can't wait to hear this one.
It's hereditary.
So they were born this way?
Okay, it's in their chromosomes. And what they have is
Common sense, critical thinking skills?
stupid cells.
So close.
It's a defect.
Is it a defect of just like one part of them, or is it a widespread problem?
Okay, their whole body is nothing but stupid cells.
You know, with the amount of kidney stones that I get every year, I'd say asshole cells maybe, but not stupid.
And they can't help it.
Of course, I think my kidney stones have better critical thinking skills.
You know, it's just it's hereditary. They pass it from one Democrat down to the other.
If this is true, sounds like you'd be a proponent for abortions.
They procreate, and you got more stupid Democrats.
Fascist grandpa is also pro-choice. That's a twist.
It's just an unending parade of stupid people.
Unending parade of stupid people sounds like Donald Trump's next fundraiser title.
And so to allow stupid people to vote, you know, that's not right.
Well, I'd say you'd probably be the expert on stupid.
And
Jesus, fuck, you're still going?
because they always put the wrong person in.
I feel like I've had Taco Bell shits that are more put together than this argument.
You know? And it's just
This guy watches 30 minutes of Idiocracy, and now he's pouring energy drinks on his plants.
I just don't know. I mean, those are three solid, good reasons.
Again, there's been Jaeger bomb vomit that was more solid than these reasons.
Why Democrats should not be allowed to vote.
You know who I think would want to hear this? Your congressman and your senator.
And I'm going to write my congressman and my senator
Brilliant.
and see if we can't get a law passed up there in Congress.
Do us all a favor and hold your breath on that one.
I've come up with an idea.
Yeah, well, I mean, these boomers, they sure come up with the most craziest thing, don't you think, Chris?
I think this man was around and had parents that were around for lynchings. And if his theory were true, I would be a Republican.
Yep. And
so I wonder why his views are skewed. Could it be his upbringing? Like,
I think it's also not only the upbringing, but his lack of
ability to learn and change. I mean, he's been around for like 70 years. You have no excuse to have examined the world and come up with better conclusions about life. I mean, I got off to a rough start. I was raised by a very right-wing person in my life, but that didn't stop me from thinking and changing.
No, I'm not saying that. I 100% agree with you. I thought this guy has never left his state. You know, he looks like one of those. You know, I think the world he sees around him is the world he knows, and he's unable to fathom anything different. I'm sure the idea of a big city is going to his local fucking city center, Walmart or something like that. You know, like he doesn't. You know, he's probably very rural. All of these things. I'm. You know, like you expect wisdom from an older man, but obviously all you get is stupidity because the guy is trying. He doesn't want everyone to have the ability to vote.
But he'll be the first to be like, land of the free, America's the best, and I have a right to vote, but you don't because I don't like your vote. Yeah, that's not how it works. And if you don't like it here, leave. I mean, throw it back on them when they're like, you know, I don't want everyone to vote, but that's how America's run. It's democracy. Well, I don't like that. Well, leave then, sir.
Richard Roy, welcome to the stream.
Hello, Richard.
You keep Democrats from voting. You mean end elections, right? Yeah. I mean, the guy doesn't believe. I mean, right now we're at a stage where Republicans don't believe in democracy. The old man just wants to turn back the calendar turn back the calendar to when he could get a loaf of bread and a bottle of soda for 10 cents. Yeah.
I'm
Hello,
shocked.
Megan Hazer.
I'm shocked he can use a camera, video camera.
Now, this is somebody, by the way, who's really popular on YouTube, but I despise him, and that's the Critical Drinker. I used to like this guy, I really did. He's like one of those people that you used to like, but he's no different to a lot of fucking, red pill grifters out there, and I see right through him now, and I don't like him anymore. And let's see what this guy has to say about him. Why is this not working?
I don't know, but I know the old man from the last thing could use his phone. And I'm still shocked over that.
Sorry, let me see if this...
Like, who showed him that? Because he didn't figure that out by himself.
Let's refresh this.
Could you imagine changing that whole thing instead of saying Democrats, say Republicans, and then show that to him? He'd fucking have a heart attack.
Yep. Okay, this one has no time. I think this is just how it is. I have to review these Acolyte episodes one at a time for the sake of my health. Oh, well, this I've seen this video. It does work. The reason why he reviews it is because Hate gets a lot of watches, and that's why he reviews it. I mean, this guy watches stuff that he despises, and he still watches it. Like, he could go on to stuff that he likes, but he doesn't.
Well, that's the latest thing, is to rage bait, they call it.
Yep, I don't know why that clip's not working, but I'll find the clip that does.
Is Bossman not coming back?
He said he'll come back. He said he had to do some stuff for his mum. But whether he comes back or not is up to him. So let's have a look. See, I got some beautiful ones, by the way. Here we go. This one. I don't know what's happened to my pics, but they're not right.
Well, you're figuring it out. Can I do my sports? Caitlin Clark?
Yep.
Okay. For those of you who don't know, Caitlin Clark was a fantastic college basketball player that has recently got to the NWA. She was the first pick in the first round. She went to the Fever, who were in last place last season. That's why they got to pick first. So they're not a very good team. Their season started out rough because they went into just playing games without practices, but now they're coming back. They're gelling as a team. I've had a lot to say about the team members not blocking her, but there is one woman on that team now that seems to be working well with Caitlin, because basically the whole league was against her for several reasons, but in reality they were just jealous of her talent. But they would throw everything else, see what stuck, because they didn't want to admit to how good she was. And one in particular player who has a lot to say about Caitlin, and it's out of jealousy, is Angel Reese. Angel, you'll never see this, but I am a 50-year-old woman. I've seen the world. I've been to 24 countries. no, I've not played professional sports, but I've played a lot of sports with a lot of teams. And I just want to say something good to you that I think you need to hear. And I think it's been said to you a lot by people in your league, but I don't know if they're being critical enough or hard enough or nice enough or a combination. So I just want to say, get out of your feelings, all right, and get into business mode. Caitlin Clark is a rising tide. She's going to rise all boats, including yours. You're going to make more money. You're going to become the star that I know that you can be because you are a good player. No one's ever denied that. But you seem to believe that you need to be a villain to be noticed. You don't. You're a good player. Now, you even have a chance to become the MVP. All right? A lot of that has to do with you're getting a lot of points on your talent, but also you're on one of the best teams and your players feed you the ball. But what else? Your team members are good at passing and receiving. Unfortunately, Caitlin Clark's team, only one player seems to be good at that with her. And they don't feed her the ball back because jealous little bitches. But stop feeling like you have to be a bitch. You don't. Get by on your ability to play. You are good. So get the attention for the right reasons. You deserve that. So act right, and stop blaming other people. Stop blaming Caitlin. Now you're blaming the media for taking your words out of context. You do realize everything is being taped, right? No one's lying about what you said. It's on video. It's on your own posts. No one is manipulating that. Get out of your feelings. Play. Stop blaming the media, like I said. Stop blaming men. Stop blaming the fans. They will come to your side if you just play how you can play. You deserve it for those reasons. And you're going to spoil it for yourself if you keep doing this. So that's what I have to say about Angel Reese. And just a quick other few things before we go to that. Caitlin Clark had a fan come all the way from Australia just to watch her play. The highest, a seat went for $9,000 at one of her games. This woman is raising funds for the WNBA. WNBA has never made a profit in its 25 to 28 years. It's the men's league that pays for them. They're basically on welfare. And I say, after this kerfuffle of them not taking advantage and supporting a star player like this, and a lot of the other newbies that have come up that are really great players as well, the NBA should just say, you know what? You're cut off because you're not acting right. You're not acting like a business. It's not just a sports game at this level. It's a product people want to watch for excitement. She was denied a seat in the Olympic team. Ridiculous reasons were given. Again, it was just because all these other women's feelings seemed to be hurt. Some of the reasons given, one of them was it would upset fans if she didn't play enough. Well, it's upsetting fans that she's not on the team, so that's a bullshit argument. No, rookies have never been on the Olympic team. That's a lie. I can name 2. And just, again, back to the business. If you get this woman that has brought hundreds of thousands of fans to your sports, put her on the Olympic team, you're going to make even more money. All right. Great news, though, coming up is if you don't know enough about the Women's Pro Basketball League, is that they make more money going overseas and playing in Russia and Turkey and stuff like that. So to prevent that from happening, one of the great players has decided she's going to start a whole other league in the off season so they can play 3-on-3, 1-on-1, and I believe 5-on-5. And the owners of this league will be the first 30 women drafted, and they will make a profit. I see it coming. And I want to give a special call out to a player named Boston. she plays with Caitlyn and protects her and guards her, passes, receives, gets rebounds, steals. You're good, man. You're good. That's all I gotta say.
Yeah. Okay. Anything more to say about Caitlyn?
Oh, are you still looking?
No, I'm done. I'm ready
No,
to go. But I'll let you finish off.
No, I think that's pretty much. I didn't want to go too deep into it. Oh, one cute thing is Caitlyn's one of her sponsors is Wilson, and their headquarters is in Chicago, who is Indiana Fever's rival, and Reese's team, Angel Reese's on that team. And what they've done is at the Wilson headquarters, they've got the silhouette of her hair and her jersey with the number 22 at the bottom of the jersey. And it's on the window, and it just looks like she's mooning the entire city and the team, the Chicago team. And I think it's, if you go look it up on the internet, Wilson, the basketball maker, Caitlin Clark window display. It's hilarious looking, and I just think it's funny.
Hello, Mr. System. Yeah, and I do agree with you regarding that one lady. Like, she wants to play this villainous role when she really should be inspired to be a good player herself, and that way she gets recognized for being the player. Because this gimmick of playing this particular character will only take you so far, and after a while, people want to see how good you are as a player. So I agree with you there for sure.
She has a chance of becoming the MVP. Like, she's really good.
Yeah, she's really good,
she's not thrilling, but
anyway, I've got this shit working finally. I don't know how,
right.
but I did. Let's go. And it's not working. Oh, come on. You're working just a second ago, and now you're not working.
So the difference is she's not getting as much attention because she thinks it's because she's black and Caitlyn's white. But there's been white people in your league forever that haven't garnished this attention. Kate's exciting because she doesn't just get free throws; she gets deep threes and from the half court. Reese, Angel, you're great at rebounds and assists and stuff like that. But you got to remember, this is a show, not just a game. So let the light shine on other people, and it'll shine on you too, sweetheart.
Well said. Let's hope this works.
Yep.
No.
So the Critical Drinker says that he has to review episodes of Star Wars The Acolyte one at a time for the sake of his health. And let me stop you right there. No, you don't. No, you're an adult man, and it's a TV show. It's not going to harm your health, no matter how much you dislike it. And you might think I'm being pedantic, right? Obviously, he's being non-literal here, but this shtick has worn old by this point, right? The reason that you're reviewing them one at a time is because you get insane view numbers every time you do it, and so you want to stretch it into as many videos as possible. There's this bizarre trend among guys who get paid to be wrong about movies of trying to make you feel like they're making some big sacrifice by watching television. And it was a cute bit to begin with, but they seem to have gotten progressively more serious with time. I mean, above all else, it's just incredibly weak behavior. You get paid boatloads of money to do an incredibly easy job that you're not even good at. The least you could do is not whine about it. So the Critical Drinker says that he has to review episodes of Star Wars.
I mean, this guy is so popular, and you get so many fucking views, over 1 million views on these videos, and he's a fucking grifter, and he's full of shit. And yes, this show is crap, but you watch it because you earn off negativity. You know, that's why your people come to watch your channel. You're not going out of your way to fucking watch this show. You're not losing any, strains of life. You're making money. This guy,
you're not a martyr.
You know how much he makes? You know how I'm fine, thank you, my system. I've heard he makes $50,000 a month.
Wow.
Yeah.
But he's acting like a martyr, right? Like.
Yeah, exactly. He's having his little blue pill finally kicked in, and his stream began playing. Yeah, I don't understand. Sometimes TikTok does that. So, okay, this one's heartbreaking. Yeah,
Not
but
people dying, right?
no, but it's to do with a military guy. Listen to this. And by the way, I this is my issue. Like, you know, when Trump said, you know, why do people join the military? They're suckers and losers. Yeah, and I said, and I got a lot of clapback because I get where Trump was saying regarding that, simply because you're fighting rich people's wars. You're fighting wars for corporations. You know, you're letting yourself die for a cause that you'll never get any credit for. And this is a prime example.
Or fully understand.
Damn, it's done it again.
And I didn't realize that when I joined, but
why the fuck would anyone go to war for you? I'm 100% disabled fucking veteran. And guess what they do when you get out? First they break you down and they brainwash you. And then they tell you, hey, you're a soldier now. You're an airman now. You're a Marine now. You're a sailor now. Stand with pride in your uniform that costs like $800 that you have to pay out of your own paycheck. They don't just give it to you. You gotta pay for it.
You pay for your own uniform.
And then after they brainwash you, they throw you the fuck in the trash. Nobody wants to go to war for you. You don't take care of the American people. You don't take care of the service members. And by God, you goddammit, don't fucking take care of the veterans. Fuck you! Why the fuck would anyone go?
Yeah.
Yeah,
And-
it's the truth.
And I would agree with them, especially in America, but also in other countries. You know, I'm much more aware now that unless it was something like the Second World War, First World War scenario, it's done so the military complex, industrial complex makes money, and the government and their real bosses, big corporations, get oil and other stuff that makes them money.
That's what we're fighting for.
Sorry?
I mean, that's what we're like. Not since World War II, in my opinion, are we really fighting for anything other than for corporate interest.
Yeah. No, I agree. And or combination of that and prejudice, like the Korean War and Vietnam War. But since the Second World War, I totally agree. There's really, but what really we should sort of tie this in with is the recent debate, I think, in Congress, where they want to vote for every person to register so they can be called up and fight in the United States in a war. And that worries me, because why all of a sudden are, like, they could have done that for Afghanistan or pushed that for Afghanistan or, you know, the Iraqi war, but all of a sudden they're really concerned that they want people to have to register, what's it called, for the draft. What war is going on right now, genocide, that they might want to pressure people that don't want to go to have this enacted?
Yep.
Think about it.
And yeah, and this is the thing with possible attacks on Israel by Iran and vice versa. You know, Iran will probably demand that Americans send their troops over to fucking die for Israel, and we're getting to that stage now where you have to have a war worth fighting, and there's a lot of people who won't want to fight in that war, let alone fucking enlist to fight in that fucking war.
Yeah.
And what are we fighting for?
And I don't blame them. I wouldn't do it. And I was in the Army and I loved that job. You know, it was slightly different being a Canadian military person. I mean, there were some similarities, but the American Army, so obvious that it's done for money. And
Yep.
they will get the poorest people that have no choice in life, and they will use them. No senator's son goes to war. I think that every senator that votes for that should have their children first in line to register. No bone spurs allowed.
I agree. Okay, let's hope this clip plays. This is something, by the way, I've debated against, but now I'm actually agreeing with this guy because maybe because I'm getting older as well, but I'm having issues keeping up with series or shows that I watch when every season comes out every 2-3 years. Like we used to watch shows that would come out every year, like clockwork, a brand new season every year. Well, that's not the case anymore. Check this guy's argument out.
I hate how TV shows are nowadays. I can't take it. Waiting 2 years for TV shows to come back is unacceptable. I don't care how big the show is. House of the Dragon, Sandman, The Last of Us, all these shows are taking too long to come out. Back in the day, many shows had 22 episodes per season and they came back every year without skipping a beat. Now, they weren't always the best episodes, there were some fillers, but I'll take the occasional flop over waiting 2 years for 6 episodes. By the time new seasons of shows come out, I've forgotten the majority of the story because I binged all the episodes in one day 2 years ago. This isn't how TV's supposed to be. This is no way to live. Nowadays, they spend so much time on these projects and give you so much less. You can't even develop a bond with these characters because there's not enough time. Give me the episodes where absolutely nothing happens, or the bottle episodes because they're trying to save their budget. That's where the magic happens. On the real though, pay the creatives well so they can make the TV they need to. There have been unforeseen obstacles with the writers and actors strike, but overall these shows take too long to come back out. Interview with the Vampire as well. I forgot to add that one, but that show took too long to return. Stranger Things is a perfect example. Season 1 premiered in 2016, and Season 5 will come out next year in 2025. That's nearly a decade for 5 seasons. There has to be a better way of merging high-quality productions with more stories because I'm becoming less interested in TV shows, and I love TV. Now I'm more interested in going back and watching older TV shows that give me 20-plus episode seasons and watching TV shows that come out today because they give me nothing. I hate how TV...
One of those things I agree with him is the show, like I'm watching a show called Billions, and that series is already finished. It's 7 seasons long, which is why I wanted to watch it, because I knew it has to be good to be 7 seasons, and that's why I just had to watch it. It had some good actors in it as well, and even though it can be very complicated to understand stuff because the show is about financial things like the stock market, and the show is about legal things like being the Attorney General of New York and all of that. The legal mumbo jumbo, financial mumbo jumbo is in there, but I'm able to follow this show to a degree because the whole season's there for me to binge. I didn't watch it when it initially came out. I had to wait every 2 years for a season, and this is so true because my problem with shows nowadays is that I forget certain things because it takes so fucking long for a series to come out after the first one, and I'm not liking this method. The series, even Game of Thrones for the first 4 or 5 seasons came out every year like clockwork, and then the final season took 2 years to come out, and then now that's become like the standard for every show, 2 fucking years. I hate it. I don't know what you think, Chris.
I agree with you. I agree with this gentleman. I also have other issues with Netflix and Netflix series. Bridgerton is a program I'm watching right now. 3 seasons. Season 1, Season 2. It's a fantasy / period drama romance. Normally not into these sort of things, but this one's done really well. In the first 2 seasons, there was great writing, great director, great showrunner, really well done. And Netflix goes, aha, we've got our audience. We can slack off in the 3rd season because they'll want to know what's going on. We have them on cliffhangers, or we have them. And they also will be like, yeah, this series is making money, but it's just not making enough for us. So we're just going to, on cliffhangers, cancel. It's like your Netflix. You can have as many shows on your TV as you want. It's not like you have to fill time slots like you did in the old days where, Monday night had one 7 to 8 o'clock time slot. You can put show after show after show up on Netflix. It doesn't matter. But just because a series isn't quite making enough money, they'll cancel it. And it's pissing your viewers off, Netflix, We're going to start going to other. I'll go to YouTube. Fuck you.
Sorry, I apologize. My fatigue is starting to kick in.
Well, if you want to finish.
Well, we'll do a couple more, and then I think I'm really tired, Chris. I'm really sorry.
Me too.
We'll do a couple more, but remember I mentioned to you about the Acolyte. We spoke about it earlier.
Yeah,
this
yeah.
guy brings in more detail. Let's check it out. And of course,
the internet trolls are reviewing The Wrong Acolyte. The fandom menace strikes again. A new Star Wars show dropped on June 4th called The Acolyte, and all of us knew that it would be reviewed poorly by audiences regardless of its quality, simply because it surpassed the fragile male idea of a quota of women. And you can tell by the audience score that they did eventually find the right show, because that is incredibly low. And I don't even love this show. I don't even like Star Wars that much. So you're putting me in a weird spot every time you do this. But in their zeal to stand up against imagined injustice, they've got everything remotely named Acolyte catching strays. This is a movie called Acolytes from 2008 that suddenly had a mysterious influx of 1-star reviews. And all of the new reviews say stuff like Disney, Star Wars.
where did he
blah,
get
blah, blah,
this?
woke. This
I'm trying to look for
fan film
that.
called The Acolyte also got a bunch of 1-star reviews flooding in suddenly. Funniest thing about this, and every time that it happens, is that these are the same people that purport to not care about critics or look at scores for anything or care what anybody thinks. So who is this for? What man are you sticking it to? In completely unrelated news, last month, Tubi had more viewers than Disney Plus, Peacock Max, or Paramount Plus. And this actually comes from an LA Times article by Stephen Battaglio that's basically about how streaming prices, subscription costs have gone up and up and up, and lots of them have even started using ads as well. So Tubi, a free service that utilizes ads and has a vast catalog, has been doing better and better. Its user base is up 46% since last May. And like Jay Stoops pointed out, not only is Tubi there, but other free services that utilize libraries, so no ads, like Canopy and Hoopla, are there as well. So there's a positive ending to the video. People are going to find art any way that they can. They're just not going to find the right movie to review. The internet trolls are reviewing The Wrong Acolyte.
There you go. So they are purposely review bombing this show.
But they don't pay attention to ratings. They're not important until it's their opinion.
Yep. I'm constantly impressed with. Yeah, there's a channel on YouTube that I recommend. It shows you free films. We've seen a couple on it already. Richard Roy. It would be nice if they could do a show that had a trajectory that started and ended with an idea in mind, but they just seem to just try to squeeze them for whatever money they can get out of it. Yeah, I agree. Now they did that with the bloody Star Wars sequels, and that's not even a show, and that killed any ideas that it may have started with. Yep, I get the impression that will happen with Game of Thrones. Well, what happened with Game of Thrones is that I think Benny Eisman or Benny Wiseman and whatever the fuck those guys' names are, who wrote the series, they were offered to do some Star Wars projects with Disney, which actually never came into fruition. But it did mean that they had to then end Game of Thrones. Now, Game of Thrones was supposed to go on for 10 seasons. But with those guys going, they were writing the show. They didn't decide to write the show off very quickly, which is why, unfortunately, the show ended up being so shit. But you can see the rush job they did by the end. And that's why the latter seasons of Game of Thrones were so bad. It's unfortunate, but that's how it goes. All right, let's do a couple more and we're done. Oh, this is good. Yeah. The grift is so amazing for right wingers that they'll do anything they can to fucking sell shit. And here we have anti-woke water, Chris. Anti-woke water.
Water.
Yeah.
Water isn't just about what's inside the bottle. It's about the message it sends with every sip. With labels like, this water isn't free, but your speech is. It's not just refreshing. It's rebellious and it's unapologetic to drink this in public. Can you freaking believe it? But that's where we are. It's a reminder that even the most ordinary acts like Taking a sip of water can be infused with meaning and purpose. By choosing to drink Freedom 2.0, you're not just choosing a brand, you're choosing to stand up for what you believe in. Try Freedom 2.0 and tag me in your Instagram story for a repost. Hold on, drink break.
That, my friends, is the definition of quintessentially creepy. Drink break!
Drink break!
These people are shameless. They're putting up the concept of individuality. This is rebellious to drink this water. Freedom 2.0. So I thought it would be fun to go to the website here and take a look here. I mean, they're poorly designed website, to be sure, but their header here covers up "Speak your thirst, protect the first with smoking bullet holes." It wouldn't be a conservative commercial for, I guess, even water without the specter of gun violence. Pretty nutty. All of this, Freedom 2.0, all the little sayings here. Get a taste of freedom. Vote for Freedom 2.0. Freedom to speak, freedom to drink. This water ain't woke. You can't, what's it say? You can't deprogram freedom and then drink this water or move to Canada, they say.
No.
Anyway, there is one part of this that I wanted to click on that I was looking at earlier. Water cooler. And look at some of these slogans. First of all, they've got this running tab this of comments, I guess. The labels are hilarious. The cleverness of the slogans make you smile as you sip. Wow, what a benefit. I love reading comments on the label pages. These slogans turned ordinary water bottles into conversations.
Water isn't just about what's inside the.
Absolutely ridiculous.
Turned it into a conversation or an arguing match.
Yep. Oh God, I'm really sorry, Chris. My eyelids are absolutely are battling me right with that. I usually can go for another hour, but right now I'm Daniel Vance's fucking betting vice.
I know we go for 4 hours normally, but I actually like the 3-hour shows better.
I've still got plenty of TikToks as well, which is unfortunate. But
next week comes.
Yeah. No problem. All right, I'm dying. I don't know why. I'm just dying to go to sleep, and I'm not even going to go to bed straight away because it's so fucking hot and sticky right now. I don't know if it's hot and sticky where you are.
No, I got the fan on.
No, but is it like high temperatures?
No, it's a nice. Well, I like it when it's 68, but it's 74.
No, you'd have to do Fahrenheit with. You'd have to do Fahrenheit with me. I'm British.
Sorry. Do you want Celsius or Fahrenheit?
Yeah, Celsius.
It's about 24, 25 right now, but I'd rather it be 19.
Yeah, it's quite warm right now. Let me see what the temperature is as it's midnight now.
On the longest day of the year.
Yeah, we're getting hot weather now. There'll be the only day that it might rain might be on Wednesday, and even then there's like a 30% chance. But it's going to be like in the mid-20s. But these temperatures are reasonably warm, and I will start to perspire. So I don't like to go to bed sweaty.
No.
I have to have a shower.
Yeah,
and I like to go to bed. On a warm day, I like to go to bed after a shower because that way I don't feel like I'm taking the grime of the day in my bed with me. So
it'll get as high as 38, 39, sometimes 40 here, but that won't happen till August.
33 degrees Celsius, bloody hell. Yeah, what happened to August? August is usually a shitty month for us here in the UK.
Sorry, did I say October? I meant August.
Yeah, you said August.
Okay.
It's a shitty month. 10 more minutes and we would have had NerdTube Vegas bet winner. Yeah. Oh god, I was feeling it. Like, oh no, I'm fucking doing the fucking bobblehead. Yeah, I'm going all Ron DeSantis on you motherfuckers. With a clock for confirmation. Yeah, there you go. 10 past midnight. You love the clock. I know people love the clock. The clock is there. Can you see my clock?
Barely. I'm on my phone.
Yeah, fair enough.
Which means
All
the
right.
screen of you is that big.
Fair enough. All right then. Well, Chris, thank you very much for joining. And yeah, we need to do a review of Fall of House of Usher.
Yes, guys. Everyone watch that.
If we want to do that tomorrow, we can try and squeeze it in tomorrow.
Okay.
Okay. All right then. Everyone out there, don't forget to like, share, subscribe to NerdTube, the greatest YouTube channel you never heard of. And remember the name. Remember the name. No, how did it go again? The name's NerdTube. Remember it. What the fuck? All right. Bye bye.
Bye, everyone.